Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Parasocial Pals podcast. Sorry for the 1 week break. That will likely continue. We'll see how things go. In the meantime, I'm Papa Strell. As always, is my co-host Nick. Nick, how are you doing this morning? Afternoonish.
Okay, I woke up like an hour ago and ate a cup noodle, so we'll see
Hell yeah.
how that propels me forward. Yeah, I guess I'll admit the reason that we had a 1 week break is because my brother's girlfriend wanted to go to an improv show, um, and I went to support her and her interests. It was painful. We can't all be the dropout crew and their improv skills.
No, we can't
It's
all
a
have a podcast about Star Trek.
it's a very difficult art, and community theater is a great place to practice it in front of strangers
It
who hate
is.
you.
It's as someone who hides behind a VTuber and a podcast, I don't know how many stones I can throw, but I did go to an improv theater in high school with pretty much the same, I don't want to use the term noose, but inclination, and had about the same
hmm
amount of fun.
Well, we did at least go get sushi afterwards.
Oh,
So,
hell yeah. That's always good.
um,
Yeah, this summer be weird. So what have you been doing other than going to random local improv shows?
let's see. I think I told you I finished that game Silent Hope that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, the one that I
Um,
confused for the supermassive thing.
yeah. Um, I would not recommend that game unless you like very basic Diablo likes. But I don't know. It's good enough for like $20.
Yeah.
And you just want something that's brainless
Ah, I
and
see. I
cute.
see.
It's very funny because all of the enemies are very, very cute looking, but all the like there's a bestiary in the game, and it turns out they're all like transformed humans who have been transformed by their most vile thoughts. So all of their dying thoughts are like, "I wish everyone around me would die," or like, "Why should I help anyone but myself?" And it's like a cute little pig.
Look at this little turtle guy. No, we're not clicking that. Interesting.
Uh, on that, I got Cookie Clicker up in the background again.
Yeah, we clicking cookies.
Yeah.
We haven't had like a big, I mean, maybe it's just because all the Zoomers are playing it on fucking Roblox, but I feel like we haven't had a big clicker game in a while.
The one that I know of that's been popping off is Orb of Wisdom or something like that.
That sounds kind of familiar. That recently released on Steam.
I'm going to say so far my favorite clicker game has still probably Realm Grinder. I feel like that one had the most build potential.
Realm Grinder was a lot of fun. I remember playing that at work for way too long.
Like, like as a game, I feel like that one works, as a thing you can interact with the best
Yeah.
of any idle game I played. The rest are just kind of like you do the thing and then you get faster at doing the thing, but it's the same thing over and over
Yeah,
again.
it's literally just the same thing. I will say in that regard, I really liked the Crazy Taxi one that was on mobile.
Mm.
Both because it had a dedicated fucking button for music, specifically from the Offspring. And another because it had like an end.
Oh yeah.
That was definitely nice to be able to say confidently, okay, I'm done with this.
I think I was telling you yesterday about Horror Pilot. That's also like a clicker idle game, but it does have an ending, and the other half of it is a point and click adventure
Yeah, you
that's
would.
just kind of gated by your progress in the clicker game.
It's kind of funny. It's almost. I wouldn't be surprised if fucking gotcha and mobile games adopt something like that. It's kind of what it
Yeah.
is, really. Just a different kind of stamina bar.
Um, what have you been playing? Oh, the Duskbloods beta.
Yeah, I've been doing the Duskbloods beta. That's been interesting. If you like Bloodborne and wish there was more PvP, it's for you. If you like Night Rain and wish there was more PvP, it's for you. If you're like me and you don't play Souls games for the PvP, I don't think you're going to enjoy it because that's kind of the whole thing. There is PvE, they advertise it as such, but literally every match ends in a PvP fight.
It's all in service of the PvP battle at the end.
Yeah. I believe it's entirely
It's basically
online.
It's basically Night Rain, but every boss is the yellow guy from Demon Souls.
Yeah, or the fucking Mirror
monk.
Knight, or
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Dark Souls had one of those, which was interesting.
But yeah, the gist is it's Dark Souls, but every boss is just another player.
Yep.
Or two other players.
Yeah. Well, the final boss. There are actually some interesting like bosses that you fight co-op. And you know, you can like join up with other people. But at the end you do have to fight. You can't just like shake hands and fucking okay, we're both winners. No, there can be only one, as they say.
If they attach like a campaign mode or something to it, I might consider picking it up, but as it is now, I probably won't.
Same. Yeah, it would be really nice if there was just a little bit of Bloodborne in there. That'd be so just give me a little bit. But it very clearly wants to be Bloodborne and legally can't. And
I do wonder if they're going to add meta progression in like they did with Night Rain.
Oh, almost certainly, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that still hasn't been surfaced. There's a few things that they've already said that are not selectable and manageable in the beta that will be in the final game. So, yeah, I imagine there'll be meta progression. You can't make a video game where the point of the video game is to play the video game anymore. That doesn't work.
We don't do Pong and Pac-Man anymore.
We don't do TF2 pre-hats. That's there are so many children that grew up not understanding that Team Fortress 2 was a video game you played because you wanted to play Team Fortress 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were no rewards, there were no hats, there were no weapons, there were no unlockables. There was fucking you played a game to play a game.
You played it for the love of the game.
For the love of the game. Fucking Left 4 Dead 2 as well. Boy, it'd be great if they made another Left 4 Dead. Wouldn't it be cool if somebody like carried the torch and made a Left 4 Dead that was like Left 4 Dead but not? That'd be crazy if somebody actually did that for once.
And they put the number 4 in there somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Or there was like, you know, somebody who made like a cult classic movie that I don't think is that good.
Since John Carpenter made Left 4 Dead somehow.
Yeah, somehow. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing and finished Overlord. That's a fun, almost 20-year-old game. Actually, it might be 20 years old.
I think it is like 20 years old.
I think it might be a little bit, yeah.
So I played that shit on the Xbox 360, I believe.
Yeah, that was it. It's weird because it's like right there where it feels like it could have been a PS2 original Xbox game, but I believe it was 360 and PS3. And I am planning to stream the sequel. I think I'll do that in October, which is right around the fucking corner. Jesus. But yeah, otherwise it's just fucking wasting time and waiting for Onimusha to come out and waiting for all of the games that are coming out next month because they're all afraid of Grand Theft Auto.
I think the big game I'm waiting for right now is the Castlevania, the new Castlevania.
Yeah, that's next month.
That's October, I think.
Is it? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is October, maybe early October.
And obviously also DLC for Dragon's Dogma. But
yeah, I keep checking. I think the update patch that we all have been asking for literally years is supposed to drop the end of this month, and the end of this month fast approacheth. So
yeah, maybe they said.
Oh, we got something. Are we back? Please tell me we're back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fucking God. I hate Cox now, Spectrum. in our final bit of news for the day, the Spectrum Corporation bought Cox because nothing means anything in corporate America anymore, and antitrust is a literal fucking joke.
Wait, is that not a monopoly then?
Yeah, that's what I thought
Like-
too, right? Isn't that a fucking monopoly? Because there were really only 2 internet providers. I guess 3 if you count Verizon. Nobody on the West Coast does.
Well, I guess you can get Starlink or something and give Elon Musk your money.
Fucking. Like, there's the lesser of 2 evils, and then there's punching myself in the dick for fun, and I'm really not sure.
Well, with regards to Dragon's Dogma, I see Capcom has a stream set up for the 26th of August. So
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
maybe it'll drop then or the day after or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at least on Steam. Their last update is from July 31st, like almost a month ago. Just saying, yeah, we're gonna make it better. DLC launches October 9th, and big patch is coming end of August. So yeah, 26th sounds like end of August. I don't know if it specifies what save improvements means.
I think that's the multiple save slots.
Yeah, thank God. I'm hoping those performance improvements are vast, because that was sadly the biggest detriment to that game.
I will say that, like, in games that disallow save scumming, it can be a little annoying when you're like how little control you have over when you are able to save.
Mm-hmm.
Games that are autosave only, because you really just have to trust that the game's not going to forget the last hour you played if you turn it off the wrong way.
Yeah, that is, and like at the very least, just let me go into a menu and see when the last save was. But yeah, I feel like at the very least, every video game should have just like, you have the one save slot, but you can manual save whenever the fuck you want. And maybe we've got a hidden auto save slot. Who knows?
I think if I recall, Dragon's Dogma did a weird thing where it like saved at the last inn you slept at and also held an autosave slot.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. It was apparently worse than Dragon's Dogma 2, so that already was an improvement.
Anyway, this is a Star Trek podcast.
I guess this is a Star Trek podcast about Star Trek, so let's talk about it. Why don't we just jump right into it? Our first episode is Return to Tomorrow.
Yes, Return to Tomorrow. We didn't really have any guest stars this time because our guest stars were just our stars.
Yeah, they kind of a bottle episode in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they did have the one new set that was just a bunch of curtains.
Mm-hmm.
Curtains on a soundstage. But let's see, we have our one guest star is Diana Muldaur, as Anne Mulhall, the science lady.
Yeah, we always need a new science lady, except when McCoy wants to do the science.
Yes. If you recognize that name, it's because she's Dr. Pulaski on season 2 of Next Generation.
Oh, wow. So she's one of the returning. That's cool.
Yes, she returns. She is a much older lady by then, but I recognized her face and her fake eyelashes.
Yeah, they varied in quality throughout the episode.
So yeah, to get the short synopsis of the episode, it's a body snatcher episode, sort of, kind of. Kirk and his crew are led to an alien planet by a super intelligent, I guess just short of godlike being.
Yeah. Tommy, if you've heard this one before.
But anyway, they are led to a planet. The godlike being needs Kirk's help, and by help I mean his body. It needs a physical body to inhabit in order to revive his dead race.
Bring me a starship, Captain.
And he promises The character's name is Sargon, who is named after like an ancient Sumerian king.
Okay, I knew that name sounded familiar.
Yeah, they're all named after like ancient Sumerian whatevers.
It's always that or Shakespeare.
Yeah. So Sargon is like, hey, so I don't need this body forever. I just need it long enough to build a robot body for me to inhabit. And also my two friends are coming along. We have my wife, who is my wife and whom I trust implicitly, and also we have the other smartest mind, who was on the other side of the conflict that led to me not having a body. Which, yeah, that guy turns out to be evil.
Surprise, the guy on the other side was evil.
His name was Henoch.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they decide to put the other two into the body of A, our hot lady guest star, and B, Spock, because we love the drama.
We do love the drama.
Henoch turns out to be evil, wants to take Spock's body permanently, and tries to seduce, I forget what the woman's name was.
God, I might have written it down, but yeah, I also forget.
It was Thalassa.
Thalassa, yeah, that's right. It sounded kind of familiar.
Thalassa is Sargon's wife. She also does not want to be in a robot body because robots don't feel
robots are icky
or anything.
Gross.
And she likes having genitals.
Which you can't put on a robot, apparently. You can make a fucking robot, but can't lead it to sex or whatever.
So she goes along with evil Spock's plans until she realizes that that's evil. Then they turn a switcheroo on evil Spock after he tries to kill Kirk, or Sargon in Kirk's body. And then I guess he's turned into nothing. He tries to escape the body and is just killed?
Yeah, they're kind of vague about that. Sargon has powers, unbeknownst to many.
And then Sargon and Thalassa share a final kiss in Kirk and whatever Mulhall's body. And then they all too fade away into nothing because they decide that their presence is just too disruptive to these lesser beings.
And being a human is just too tempting.
And yeah, it's pretty much the episode. It's, I guess, morally just about what? I don't know. The ethics of taking over another person's body?
Yeah, the ethics of using another person's body. They do have a literal whole meeting about that. The ethics of preserving the greatest mind of the other guys. Fucking spoilers don't.
And I guess there's the ethics of what
constantly sexually harassing a bunch of people you don't know.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say of like elders monopolizing the future.
Yeah.
You know, not making room for new blood.
Yeah. There's a lot of old people. I swear to God, if they ever figure out how to put them into robot bodies. Anyway,
they're working on it for Mitch McConnell as we speak.
I'm not gonna lie. If I saw Mitch McConnell roll into the Senate floor as a little fucking Roomba with a brain in it, I would find that fucking hysterical.
A Fallout guy?
Yeah, exactly.
What was his name? Bud?
Yeah, I think it was Bud. Anyway, yeah, so the episode Return to Tomorrow. We get a Sulu at the very beginning, which I feel like we haven't seen in quite a while.
He gets the con very briefly.
Yeah, he gets to talk a little bit. He gets to be seen. Sometimes that's all we need from you, Sulu. We get a lot of sensors. They're investigating shit as they are wont to do, being a science vessel of some sort. And then yeah, Kirk. And it's kind of unclear because the voice is very booming, but it seems like Kirk is being contacted exclusively by some kind of godlike being who can just do that. Fucking just another Tuesday for Captain Kirk.
Yeah, this alien is able to commandeer their ship from a great distance, apparently.
Yeah, so it doesn't force them, as we've seen so many times before. It makes it clear, like, hey, Kirk, I need your help, but this is entirely voluntary. Even though I can commandeer your ship, as he, like, turns shit on and off, I won't because I'm a good guy.
Except when it's like, hey, Spock, you stay here, and Sargon's like, no,
No, I need
Spock's
that
coming.
He also refers to Kirk as my children multiple times. Again, stop me if you've heard this before.
Yeah. They very briefly get into like, hey, maybe we seeded your planet with our space seed.
Yeah. Did you?
And,
we don't actually know. We're not going to take a stance on that. I'm just saying it's possible.
So that leads into something that I found in the trivia notes. Apparently, the script writer for this episode, John T. Dugan, was a devout Catholic. And Gene Roddenberry did some rewrites to the script that he didn't like, which caused him to take credit under a pen name instead.
Oh, that's interesting. So he didn't want to put his real name on it after.
Yeah, so that was one of those things. He found it offensive that the idea that God did not create humans, the possibility of that.
Yeah, it's definitely not something we've explored before on this very show or whatever.
And also, when Sargon and his wife die and they, return to oblivion or whatever, he's like, no, souls are immortal. They go to heaven or nothing.
They go to heaven.
They go to heaven or they go to hell. They don't just disappear.
So that's interesting. That brings into question a line that shows up a little bit later where they're talking to Sargon again about maybe we seeded your planet. And I forget who, somebody's like, no, we figured out it was evolution. And then Spock was like, yeah, no, but this kind of sounds like maybe it was Vulcans. And Sargon was like, yeah, fucking could be. I don't know, man.
So this is very funny because there's an actual TNG episode about this. Where it turns out, yeah, it was aliens. Probably not these aliens.
What aliens? For Vulcans or humans or both?
All humanoid species have the same common ancestor.
Oh, thank God, because otherwise it'd be super weird that they're all played by human actors.
But also they do a weird roundabout thing of it's like, well, we didn't like start as humans. We just seeded your planet with our bacteria that would eventually evolve into humans.
Okay, yeah, all right. I've seen Prometheus too, whatever.
Yeah, it's basically Prometheus. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting trivia note.
That is an interesting trivia note. It's, yeah, I'm so curious how long that guy had been on staff, because this is not new.
No.
But maybe this was one of his first, like, actual writing credits for the show, and he's like, I'm going to put God in there. And Gene's like, fuck you are.
As far as I can tell, this is the... went on to co-write... no? Yeah, this is the only thing he wrote for Star Trek, but I think he worked a lot with NBC at the time.
Yeah.
So he did like Mission Impossible and other things.
Yeah, yeah. Much more God-friendly programming. Understandable.
Yeah. So I imagine the rewrite kind of dissuaded him from any further
that would
contributions.
Make sense that this was his first and last, if Gene's just fucking going to town on it. So yeah, Sargon talks to Kirk and maybe other people, not super clear. Kirk very briefly talks about the dangers of following yet another godlike voice, but ends with, fuck it, that's kind of our job anyway, guys, we're going. So yeah, they go to planet Sargon. I don't remember the name, and I don't think it matters.
I don't think they ever say the name of the planet, and I don't think it really matters.
Yeah. I do know they start scanning the planet, and then Sargon contacts him again and is like, your probes have touched me.
I think they make a big deal of like, hey man, we don't detect any life on this planet. It's a rock.
Yeah, but Spock does make a point that like there's a big massive energy hundreds of miles below the surface. Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Sargon's like, okay, yeah, you're here. I hear the doorbell. That's when we have the little scene you were mentioning where Kirk is like, no, Spock, I need you to stay on the bridge because you're second in command. And then all of the lights go out. And then he's like, okay, I guess you need to come with me, Spock. Which is like, I guess sort of showcasing Sargon's power, but also like, why didn't you just tell him telepathically, no, I want Spock? Why'd you have to be all fucking weird and mysterious about it now?
I'm assuming they just thought it would be cute.
Yeah, just
because they played it as a comedic moment.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe that's a remnant of the script when it was supposed to be more ambiguous and godly.
Yeah, and then they get to the transporter room, and they're like, "We're transporting through 1,000 miles of rock."
Yeah, Scotty's like, the transporter can't do that. And Sargon's like, nah, it's cool. I made it do that.
Yeah, Sargon's like, "Yeah, I got you locked on my location. Don't worry."
I got you, fam.
I think McCoy is the one who's most worried about it,
Yeah.
understandably.
McCoy's like, wait, would I die if you transported me into solid rock? And Scotty's like, yeah.
I guess Mulhall and 2 red shirts are also there.
Yeah, they don't specifically say. Again, I'm now knowing this rewrite stuff. I'm very curious how much of it was supposed to be more vague. They just say that they received orders to report to the transport room. They don't say that a magical man named Sargon talked to them.
Yeah. We just need an excuse to have her there.
Yeah, they were just weirdly compelled to be there, and Kirk doesn't explain. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess we're just all going together. I don't need to tell my crew shit. I'm Captain fucking Kirk. So
mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, if they weren't cowards, they could have had Nichelle Nichols fill Mulhall's role. Just giving her something more to do than sit in a chair. But also, it's one of those kissy episodes, and they just, like, there's only one episode where they do that.
Yeah.
With a black woman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's season 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like, I get godly stuff and whatever, but like, you have a woman whose whole job is communications. You know, let her communicate, but whatever.
Like, I know why they chose a guest star, because, get a beautiful woman as a guest star, but there were other female characters that they could have used for this.
Yeah. Ones that they've used before.
Pre-existing ones.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been Nurse Chapel if they really needed a white woman, and just switch Sargon with whatever, Henoch. Just switch Kirk and Spock's roles.
I wouldn't be surprised if she straight up said, I'm not kissing fucking
Nimoy?
kissing Shatner.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kissing Nimoy or nobody. So yeah, they all set up on the transporter. Sargon's like, I'll do it, and just remote transports them.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't even get to press the button. Sargon does it for him.
I think Scotty was a little pissed about that. He's like, it's my goddamn transporter.
Yeah. And also Sargon is like, yeah, I don't need these 2 other guys.
Yeah, the 2 other guys who seemingly were compelled there, I don't even think they have a speaking line. They're standing on the transporter and they just stay. It's just fucking Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and fucking lady.
Yeah, I remember when Kirk calls back to the Enterprise, the other 2 are standing next to Scotty, just nodding along, and he's like, are they all right? And he's like, yeah, they're right here.
Yeah, they're right here. They just didn't transport down, and I don't know what to do. And he's like, all right, well, keep them there. I guess we don't need people to die today.
And we don't ever see them again for the rest of the episode.
Literally never again. So yeah, they teleport down into a cave structure that I'm sure we've seen before in slightly different dressing.
Well, at first they're in like the fucking Velvet Room from
oh yeah, that's right. They
Twin
do
Peaks.
teleport into the Velvet Room, and then they walk into like a big stone cave area.
A room made of a material that Spock says is harder and more durable than anything he's encountered before, despite constantly encountering things that are harder and more durable than anything he's encountered before.
Yeah, nothing specific, just so hard and durable you wouldn't even believe, man.
Like harder and durable than that space worm that we couldn't blow up?
Or diamonds, or fucking, yeah.
The hardest material known to man?
The hardest material known to man.
Yeah, anyway, Sargon opens the door to reveal he orb.
Yeah, he's just a big old fucking orb to be pondered upon his plinth. Yeah, I think that's when Sargon talks to them about, oh yeah, we totally maybe seeded your planets, my good chum. And then they have the, like, no, we came from monkeys. That definitely wasn't you. And Spock's like, well, maybe it was us. This sounds kind of familiar. Sargon's like, yeah.
I think we noted, I think I said while we were watching, I looked it up, while in orb form, he's voiced by James Doohan.
Yeah, you did notice. You did mention that.
Well, when he gets into Kirk's body, he it's just Kirk with a megaphone effect on.
Yeah, it's very funny. He just kind of like very abruptly transports into Kirk.
Shatner gets to do some physical acting again, and it's very funny.
It's McCoy's first instinct is to just pull a gun on Kirk, which is hilarious. Just immediately starts like fucking start talking or I'll shoot.
I think it did do a good job of portraying that Sargon was, real hopped up on having a hog again.
Oh yeah, he was. It was funny because like he said a couple of lines and then really like, oh fuck, I can breathe air. I got a hog. I can walk. This is cool. And like you were saying, Shatner does a great job of pretending to be a man who just learned how to walk again after 1,000 years of being orb.
Yeah, the other two do not have that issue.
Yeah, they figured out pretty quickly. So yeah, I think Sargon says like, oh yeah, we're like highly evolved. We've got a giant brain energy. Stop me if you've heard this one. But like we have godlike powers, can take over a starship, but can't manifest a body because shut up. We need the episode to happen.
It was I think we noticed there was an exchange between him and Kirk, and Kirk is like, "Hey, so you guys all blew yourself up. We're better than that. We evolved past that.
We
got
evolved past blowing ourselves up.
Our nuclear era ended peacefully. We managed that." And Sargon's like, "Yeah, okay, we had that too, but you think you only get the one?"
Yeah. Oh, your first nuclear era. That's cute, kid.
Yeah, wait till you get to the psychic era, bud.
Yeah. You think a fucking nuke's bad. Wait till you figure out what a fucking psychic bomb is.
But yeah, apparently his entire race blew themselves up, and now they're just stuck in orb.
Again, stop me from
as consciousness.
Yeah, just like a weird high energy orb consciousness. I think this is around let's see here. I think this is around the time, yeah, where Kirk starts getting extra sweaty.
Yeah, I guess Sargon makes him like ramps up his metabolism or some shit.
Yeah, I think McCoy
he just can't handle all that energy.
Yeah, McCoy scans him and says like, "Oh, his heart rate is like twice as high and his metabolism's super fast. You gotta kill him." Sargon's like, "Nah, I got that. Oh fuck, I don't got this." Yeah,
so he puts himself back in orb.
Yeah, he puts himself back in the orb. Kirk comes back. Same voice, just less boomy. And goes.
And I think Kirk is like, yeah, so we like passed through each other on the way out, and I'm like, yeah, he's a good guy. We can trust him.
Yeah, we can totally trust this guy that like kind of just took my body, but only for a second. I guess he did give it back right before killing me.
And everyone is understanding like, Kirk, that's insane.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think it was like Sargon was like, yeah, we want to borrow your bodies, but we don't want to do it forcefully. So you can go whenever you want. And like before he can finish the sentence, they teleport the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And then I forget if he talks to him on the ship or whatever, but he was like, yeah, no, I could force you to do this. It's within my power. I just don't want to.
Oh yeah, he shows them the other orb room where there's a bunch of dead orbs and there's only 2 other survivors.
Yeah, that's right. He does show him the auxiliary orb room.
It's like, there's my wife, Thalassa, and there's Dr. Mengele up there.
Just, Adolf Hitler.
We preserved all of the best minds on both sides of the conflict.
Yeah. Figured it was a great idea, even though he was the other guy. Maybe I'm the evil one. Who could say? Spoilers, the other guy's evil.
But yeah, he wants Spock and Anne Mulhall for the other 2.
Yeah, because you got to put a woman in a woman body. That's just how it go. So I don't know if they get into this, if Sargon is more powerful or has a better orb or whatever, but those 2 like can't speak. They can't interact in any way the way Sargon can while they're in ball form.
Sargon had the like orb in the like control plinth, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's unclear if it's his own personal power or if it's orb based.
he seemed to be more aware of how to use his powers than either of the other two.
Yeah.
So
Um,
unclear.
yeah, it's unclear, but yeah, they go back to the Enterprise to discuss what's going on.
They do the hardest cut to Scotty slamming the table, going, "No."
No, that's fucking stupid. So yeah, Kirk is explaining like, hey, I inhabited he inhabited my body. They want to use us to build robots, and then they're going to use the robots and fuck off. So like, it's totally fine. But I want to make sure that everybody's cool with this because sometimes I'm a dictator and sometimes I'm not.
His main argument is that they'll be able to help them advance technology by like 10,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, imagine we could have a engine the size of a walnut.
Yeah, and Scotty's eyes bug out. He's like, that's impossible. Wait, walnut? Oh, I feel like you can see the gears turning in his head. Like, oh my God. Just getting hard at the idea of a fucking starship you fit in your pocket.
Yeah, I think uh Bones is the biggest holdout on the whole thing because, this is stupid.
Yeah, because he saw like this thing could have killed you, Kirk. Like he can't do it for long. And I think I had my quotes misdistributed. This is the part where Kirk is like, I'm the captain. I could force you guys to do this. I could force you to take aliens into your body, but I won't because I'm a good captain.
I'm not. I'm just going to give a JFK speech about how we do things that are hard for fun.
Yeah, we do the go to space and do the other things.
Like, he makes a pretty long speech in a very JFK way.
Very long speech, and the camera is constantly zooming in on his face. They want this to be like the thing of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just like, fucking, hey, we can't help these guys, so we should. And I'm pretty sure Sargon isn't evil, so it's fine. And also I could totally be a dictator, but I won't. So please say yes. And then he calls for a vote and nobody says no. So I think
Yeah, I think the next sequence is just them laying in the fucking hospital beds with the orbs.
Yeah, pretty much the next scene is they bring the orbs on the ship, they lay them next to hospital beds.
On a towel.
On a towel. Very important that they're on a towel. So this is a point where I noticed, and I kind of want to go back and see that. So Nurse Chapel is there and they're giving her the rundown, and she had a little red cross on her Starfleet emblem, which I don't recall ever seeing before. McCoy does not have it. I made sure to look for it. It was just her. And I'm curious if it's always been there or if it's on all of the nursing staff.
Not sure.
And the reason I even bring it up is because in today's day and age, you cannot use that Red Cross on fucking anything because the American Red Cross will sue your ass. I know this because having worked in video games, that's something you have to keep an eye out for. If you've ever played Halo, like I want to say that Halo or Halo 2 was one of the last video games where that happened and they got sued by the Red Cross and had to update that.
All your crosses got to be green, brother.
They got to be green or they got to be like shaped differently. You cannot have a fucking square red cross on a thing. And like I think the official legal reason is that is like an international sign of like peace and stuff agreed upon by like fucking NATO and the United Nations and all that stuff. And you can't misrepresent it because war crimes. And it's like, okay, yeah, probably, but it's a goddamn video game.
Yeah, wouldn't putting it on a healing item in a video game make it a little more universal for people?
Yeah. And so like, it's unclear if it's a copyright thing or an international law thing. At the end of the day, does it really matter? No, probably not. But you guys are just being dicks about it.
Yeah. No, ownership is 9/10 of the law, right?
Exactly. At least in American court, if you don't fight for it, that means you don't love it enough, and then other people can take it. So anyway, there's your fun fucking fact about healthcare for the day. So yeah, notice the Red Cross on
Uh,
Nurse Chapel. They lay everybody down to do a body swap. They do the body swap.
yeah, I think Hanok is immediately in love with Spock's body. He's like, yo, this guy's strong.
Yeah, he gets up first and he's like, "Oh fuck, this is awesome! I got the best one. This guy's got like fucking redundant hearts and extra metabolism. This is great."
And I think Thalassa and Sargon, they pretty quickly succumb back into like being sweaty.
Yeah, they make out almost immediately, and then also almost immediately start becoming sweaty and tired because their fragile, shitty human bodies can't take the massive brain that they'd been shoved into.
Also, we should note that Nimoy does a great job of shifting his entire demeanor while he's playing Hanok.
He truly is a fucking actor. Like he is acting like Spock is being inhabited by another person. It's fantastic. He is like Spock, but not.
Yeah, the entire way he holds himself is differently.
Yeah,
Like
the way he speaks, the way he fucking stands, everything is just fantastic actor.
like Thalassa, and I guess we just don't know Mulhall well enough, but
Mhm.
like you can barely tell the difference between their characters other than like their motivations are different.
Yeah, other than the booming voice and like wanting to fuck Kirk a little bit more or less, you couldn't tell.
And honestly, we don't really get to know Mulhall at all. She's just a body double for another character.
Yeah, it's funny how often they do this to a character that's really important to this episode, and supposedly has a really important job on the ship that we have never seen before and will never see again.
And Sargon as Kirk isn't really a character either. He's just kind of a plot device.
Yeah, like other than the physical acting early on, he's just supposed to be a godlike being with Kirk's voice,
Yeah.
or James Doohan's voice, depending.
I mean, he does have the strongest morals of the trio because I think every time his wife is like coming on to him, he's like, "Hey, we got to finish these robot bodies first.
Yeah, after that,
Let's focus on that."
Like initial kiss, which I think he even is like, "Nah, this is wrong. We shouldn't do this." Yeah, she totally wants to bone, and he's like, "Nah, these are borrowed. That's weird."
Like he at least is respectful of Kirk's autonomy, despite mind raping him that first time.
Yeah, multiple times. But yeah, so they quickly give back the bodies.
Oh, we should also note that when they swap, the other people go into the orb, but their mental powers are so low that they cannot communicate.
Yeah,
or
that was
be conscious
that
while
was
in orb form.
super unclear at first because I thought he was saying that like Kirk was just shoved into the back of Kirk's own mind. But yeah, they're more clear that they are literally swapping orb and brain.
If only Kaname Date had an orb.
Yeah. And I think he also mentioned specifically, like, yeah, Kirk could talk to you if he was as smart and cool as me, but he's not. So he's just hanging out in the orb.
Yeah, I think when Kirk first got back to his body, he's like, yeah, I was like just floating outside of time and space in there.
Weird, man. It's like that time I traveled to another dimension and had to fight a guy in a space tunnel. But yeah,
Don't talk about the space tunnel.
I think just before swapping, Sargon talks to not Spock, and he's like, "Hey, make us a downer so that we can use these bodies for longer." Because Spock is, like, "Nah, I'm fine. I could do this for literally hours." So
Yeah, I guess that's probably why Sargon wanted Spock specifically, although he should have taken that body for himself.
yeah, seriously, if he knew it was the best one, he should have given it to himself.
Although, I guess maybe Hanok had better knowledge of medicine than he did. I don't know.
It could, yeah, it's unclear if Hanok was like medicine based or maybe Sargon just wanted the highest ranking guy.
Because it seemed like Thalasso was the one who was good at robotics because she was designing their robot bodies.
Yeah, she was the one doing most of the robot work, it seemed.
Although she was very shocked when we saw the wet android.
Right?
But that's later.
I know how to make robots. I've just never actually seen one before. So yeah, Hanok and Nurse Chapel go into the back room to make some downers. And this is when we basically get Henok expositing that he's evil and making Kirk's downers wrong on purpose as a joke.
Yeah, so he's like preparing 3 hypos. He's like, this one's for you, for Thalassa. This one's for Sargon. This one's for me. And then Nurse Travel's like, well, those are different. And he's like, yes, they are, because this one's going to kill Sargon.
Yeah.
And she's like, but that's evil. And then he does the mind meld on her.
Yeah, and then he just mind melds with her real quick. And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I know that I need to give these hypos to these specific people, so okay. Which
it's kind of weird because he does it much faster than Spock is able to, but it's also less effective than Spock.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I'm unclear if this is a Henok thing or a Spock thing, because like he did like the actions of the mind meld, but like the selective memory loss, to my knowledge, isn't a mind meld thing.
Yeah, I feel like if Spock had done it, he would have done a neater job of hypnotizing her because she seemed resistant to it throughout the episode.
Yeah, she was definitely
like she knew something was off.
Yeah, she knew something was off with her memory, but couldn't place it and was just sort of like influenceable.
And like, I think by the end she overcame it, or at least she and Spock did.
Yeah, there's some unclearness with that near the end. But yeah, this time she's kind of pseudo hypnotized. They go inject fucking Kirk and what's her name, and then they body swap again, and then we get a few minutes of them making robots. I think Scotty walks in on Thalassa making some robots, and he's like, "Yeah, I got you a bunch of stuff, but this is all junk. You're not gonna be able to make a robot with this." She's like, "You stupid monkey, you don't know anything."
And I think Henok walks in on him and is like, yeah, it's going to be a sweet robot body that we're going to be trapped in for 1,000 years.
Yeah, isn't it great? We're going to be trapped in this robot body for 1,000 years, but it's cool. We can just
and then when it breaks down, we're going to make another to be trapped in for 1,000 years.
Yeah, like
isn't that awesome?
Isn't that cool?
Having no hog for thousands of years.
Not like it's funny because he focuses on the 1,000 years thing, like he thinks humans are going to last that fucking long.
And honestly, they were all stuck as orb. I guess I don't know how conscious they were. But
yeah, it's again unclear if the other two were more or less conscious than
Sargon. Yeah,
Sargon. Something that bugged me about this episode, including Kirk, everyone kept calling Scotty engineer. Like, I get it, he's weird. The engineer, but like he's got a goddamn name and it's fucking Scotty.
It's Montgomery Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a scene where fucking Sargon and Thalassa start getting it on, and then there's like, no, we can't do this. It's messed up. And then Thalassa keeps working on the robots, and Henok is like, man, robots fucking suck. I think that's around the time when the robots are more complete and much wetter than they were before.
I think we see Sargon getting like sweaty, but like playing it off because he's like, no way Henok would ever get this wrong.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, oh man, I'm a little sweaty, but it's probably fine. I just need another injection. Yeah, he's trying to play it off like he's not fucked up.
Which was silly of him, but you know.
Yeah. I think he goes back to his quarters, and that's when Henok comes in and is talking to Thalassa and been like, yeah, these robots fucking suck. Maybe we should just like stay as humans. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe we should kill Sargon. Just saying.
It's a little sensual the way he's trying to corrupt her.
A little bit, yeah.
Thinking. He's holding hands and shit.
Yeah, and it seems to be working. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's this fragile human form. Who can say?
But yeah, we mentioned it several times, but like the robot body they're working on, the base body is just like a wet man.
Yeah, it's a wet, just like human man,
a wet hairless man.
Yeah,
and Thalassa is like, I don't want to be like that, and Henok's like, well, if Sargon had his way, you'd be in that right now as it is.
You'd be in there,
not even looking like a woman.
Yeah, eventually we'd slap some tits on you and call it done, but you just look like a fucking wet androgynous man bot. And she is just utterly repulsed. She hates the idea of being a man bot.
Which, like through the episode, what was in the back of my mind was like, so why can't they just get them like a comatose body to inhabit or something?
Yeah,
Somebody who's medically brain dead.
yeah. It see, or like, you know, fucking prisoners and whatever, fucking whatever. We've already gone through dilemmas and whatnot. Like, there's plenty of you've met multiple people who could make really awesome robot bodies that probably have great hogs.
Yeah, there was that whole episode where they made the robot lady who could feel love well
Yeah.
enough to want to make out with Kirk.
Yeah.
So I guess these guys just weren't good at making robots.
I think they just suck at making robots.
Good at psychic powers, not good at making robots.
Yeah, exactly. I can summon a starship, but I can't make an adequate hog.
I guess that explains why they didn't do it before.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't.
Can't,
They just sucked at it.
I just can't do it, man. But yeah, I think we cut to Kirk slash Sarek in his study. I think there was a scene where Bones is talking to Nurse Chapel and like notices something's wrong but doesn't do anything about it. And she goes to give the injections because they have to get those injections every hour.
Yeah.
She goes to inject Kirk and it doesn't work and he falls over and he dies. He's dead. He's dead, Jim.
But it turns out he's not dead.
Yeah, it turns out he's not dead. So after that, we get a rare medical log because the captain can't do a captain's log, but somebody's got to do a fucking log if we're skipping around.
If we're coming back from commercial.
Yeah. Okay, this is where I wrote down that the bodies are wet, so maybe it was after that. Doesn't matter too much. McCoy makes a comment about like, I'm not a flesh peddler.
Oh yeah, Thalassa is like, hey, McCoy, just let me stay in this body. It can be our secret.
Yeah, I can do the job. I can be her. Like, what's the fucking difference, man? You can just keep giving me this injection forever and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and McCoy's like, no.
Yeah.
That's immoral.
And
then she turns the broiler on him.
Yeah, and then she fucking turns the broiler on him. She not showcased until now, but they have the ability to inflict psychic pain on people, which to us, the audience, takes the form of many purple flames erupting near them.
It looked like they took like a transparent film of like an oven broiler and just put it around McCoy.
Yeah, exactly, like a fucking Bishop's ghost or whatever of a barbecue broiler.
I think Thalassa does mention in that scene that like they have many psychic powers that they have not used because Sargon thought that were, immoral.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately after she does that, she's like, oh fuck, he was right.
Yeah.
I'm a monster.
Yeah, not then and only then does she realize, oh wow, this whole thing is fucked up and I shouldn't be a human. Being a human makes me immoral, and that's bad.
I think at that point Sargon's voice shows up and he's like, yeah, I'm glad you figured that out on your own, babe.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, oh good, you figured out that being a human is actually bad.
It turns out he uploaded himself to the ship after Kirk, quote unquote, died.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we can put ourselves in robots. You think I can't put myself in a fucking ship? I think that's where he delivers.
We were like, why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Yeah, why didn't you fucking... A lot of questions that will never be answered. I think this is when he delivers the line, like, I have a lot of powers that even fucking Henog doesn't know about.
Yeah, because Sargon's just the coolest. He's the most godly of the godlike aliens.
The fucking coolest ever. And this is when they're like, okay, so I got a plan. We got to kill Spock.
Yeah, I think I think Kirk wakes up and he tells McCoy, hey, I need you to load up a hypo with the deadliest Vulcan poison you can get.
Yeah. Which, even though Kirk was dead, now he's not. Whatever, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think Sargon does a thing to make Kirk like healthy again.
Yeah.
godlike alien, whatever.
Godlike alien can't make a hog,
And
whatever.
then I think we do the another like jump scare cut to Uhura screaming, and that's her one bit of the episode.
Yeah, she gets to scream, and Sargon's just like, I'm fucking captain now. I'm taking over this bitch.
We don't even see what he like did to her to make her scream like that.
Yeah, she just starts screaming. It's like, come on, you've seen Spock before.
Like she screams and passes out, and then he walks away from her and sits in the captain's chair.
Maybe it's supposed to be implied that he did the fucking broiler to her.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think they also appear on the bridge, and he just starts broilering them.
Yeah.
And like gives Thalassa period pains or whatever.
Yeah, she just doubles over in pain and like fucking I think McCoy like surreptitiously walks over and thinks he's going to be able to stab Spock with his hypo full of super Vulcan poison, but then Henok stops him because that's a power that he has.
Yeah, he does like a Dio Brando time stop on him.
Yeah. And then I
think he orders Chapel to take the hypo and inject McCoy with it.
Yeah, that's right. Just like inject McCoy with it, which is like he knows that it's like he reads McCoy's mind and he's like, oh, super deadly Vulcan poison. Okay, inject yourself with it, which is like, well, how deadly is it if McCoy's not a Vulcan? But whatever.
Well, given that Vulcans are so cool, anything that's deadly to a Vulcan must be like ultra deadly to a human.
That's a good point. That's a good point because Vulcans are just stronger and better in every way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Nurse Chapel takes the hypo and acts like she's gonna stab McCoy, but then stabs Spock instead. Oh no!
Yeah. He goes like, I think Henok was like, I'll just escape into another body, and then it turns out he can't because I guess Sargon is keeping him from doing that.
Yeah,
somehow.
One of Sargon's many powers is like fucking mind swap EMP whenever he wants.
Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing just any body he's trying to escape to, Sargon's blocking him, so he's just forced to evacuate into nothing.
Yeah, he just flies out into space or whatever. And then it's revealed that no, that actually wasn't Vulcan poison. It was just a mild Vulcan sedative, but we needed McCoy to believe that it was poison because we knew that Henok would read his mind.
Yep. And everything works out.
And
then I guess they asked for one last kiss.
We did miss one kind of important thing where like just before all of this, they go back to Medbay and all of the orbs are destroyed.
That's right. We thought Spock was super dead.
Yeah, because it's like
he was actually hiding inside Chapel.
He was actually hiding inside Chapel the whole time because,
which I guess she has enough brain space for both of them, unlike Sargon and the others.
Yeah, even though fucking Kirk couldn't be in the same body as Sargon, fucking whatever. Who cares? We're at the end of the episode. Nothing needs to matter.
I think it was supposed to be like a romantic moment where they're like, yeah, we shared a brain.
Yeah, we shared a body and a brain. It was cool. I don't think Spock was super jazzed about it.
No, I don't think so. Seems like the sort of thing you would find violating.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying, they ask Kirk and lady whose name I constantly forget, if they can have one more kiss before they go into oblivion, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So they just body snatch one more time and make out on the bridge with strangers' mouths. It's totally cool. It's happened before this episode. Fuck it, HR doesn't know anything.
They don't even stop kissing before relinquishing control. They just like kiss and then mid-kiss leave and leave them to deal with the fallout of that.
Yeah. Captain's just fucking harassing his sailors again. Stop me if you heard this one.
But I think they do like some jokey jokes before they end the episode, but that's basically it.
Yeah, just like, oh, cool, gods are gone. Let's get back to fucking not reporting shit to Starfleet. Bye.
Oh, and they do say that, like, yes, we're going to be dead forever. We are going to oblivion.
Yeah, they're very specific about, like, we being a human is too tempting and we don't want to go back to the ball, so we're just going to die, but as long as it's together, it'll be okay.
Yeah. Which, yeah, sorry about that walnut, Scotty. We did all this for nothing.
Scotty is beyond pissed that he didn't get his walnut-sized engine.
But, yeah, overall, it's not like I don't think it's a bad episode.
Yeah, it's got some interesting moral quandaries. Like, sadly, there's not a lot that's novel about it, but it's certainly not bad.
Like the only really interesting character is Hanok, and we don't really understand his motivations other than I want to live again.
Yeah, that's the
Just the general lichiness of him.
yeah. Like we know that there was some conflict in the past that probably had some sort of war, and that he was on the other side. But otherwise, we really don't know shit about him.
Like I think if they had given him a little more to be like, yeah, Sargon, you ordered the deaths of all of my family. Of course, I'm not going to let you live, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Or if we knew, like, if he was there against his will, or if Sargon, like, because Sargon seemed to trust him, which seems kind of weird.
Hmm.
So yeah, we don't
I
know.
guess Sargon was just assuming that after a millennia, like he would have let bygones be
Yeah, he
bygones,
would have
but apparently
fucking
not.
calmed down.
It's just like, hey, man, we're all in this together, aren't we? And apparently,
First,
no, nah.
first chance I get, I'm going to kill you, bud.
And also, I think there was like a love triangle there between Thalassa, but they don't really go into that.
Yeah, they don't go into if this is a long-standing thing or not.
Because like the first time they embrace in that med bay, like Hinnock is like leering at them from across the bed,
Yeah.
being like, these fuckers.
Yeah, I want that.
Which, to be fair, if like you had a husband and wife and you were third wheeling for like the last 10 million years,
Yeah.
yeah,
500,000.
I would
years or
hate them
whatever.
too.
Yeah, I did just be kind of pissed. I just saw a funny little TikTok video where it was a lady buying something at a bakery, and there's a couple behind her being like, "Oh, let's get the chocolate cake and we can share it. We love each other." And the girl in front's like, "Oh, the chocolate cake." They're like, "Oh, well, we'll just get the cheesecake instead, and it's so red like our love." She's like, "I'll also have the cheesecake." Um, and then they do it with another thing, and she's like, "Give me everything." And the couple is pissed, and she's like, "What? I buy what I want." So she gets her stuff and she leaves. And then the couple starts putting on their uniforms because they work at the bakery. And they're like, "Oh, good, we sold out today."
Nice.
So I just assume it was something like that.
Take that, lonely women.
How dare you only buy one slice of cake instead of 3?
Let's see. In the trivia notes, it says that this episode is George Takei's official return after his absence filming that film.
Okay, that makes sense that we got to see him almost immediately, which I don't recall if he was in the next episode, so I wonder if that was a filming date thing.
I don't know. But also, we got no Chekhov in this episode.
Yeah, there was no Chekhov. It was kind of great. I'm not going to say I hate Chekhov, but like, I don't. I'm not in love with the character of Chekhov.
I think you said you watched the first half of the reboot movie with Chris Pine.
I did, yeah.
I think I like Chekhov's portrayal in those movies more than in the original series.
There was something. I saw the scene where like Kirk and Spock are falling and Chekhov needs to run across the ship to fix it for some reason.
It does a better job of establishing like, oh, that's why they have Chekhov here. Whereas everywhere else, it's like, why is Chekhov even here? This guy sucks.
He kind of does everything and nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of flipped for every other character where I prefer their original iteration, but for Chekhov, I kind of prefer what's his name? Anton Yelchin or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yelchin, something like that.
An actual Russian person.
Yeah, they definitely play up the Russian too. I felt that was a bit unnecessary, but whatever. We gotta make callbacks, right? Let me go get some water because I didn't grab as much as I usually do, and now I'm paying for it. So I will be back momentarily. So the floor is yours.
Well, I got really nothing to say, but let's just read off the trivia section here of this episode. Apparently, the Wet Robot Man was played by William Blackburn. And they use the production test photos of this, the makeup tests in the credits of the Immunity Syndrome and by any other name. How interesting. Um, the orbs are made of, I guess they were made of fiberglass. They were reused as a Romulan cloaking device in a future episode.
All right, I'm back. How many slurs do I have to edit out?
Now then, I was just reading off the trivia page.
Nice. Anything interesting?
I have confirmed that the spheres were made of fiberglass and that they are reused in a later episode.
You know, did they ever touch those spheres? Because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to touch fiberglass. Maybe I'm thinking of fiberglass insulation.
Kirk definitely put his hands on the sphere in the first part.
Maybe it's just insulation then.
Yeah. Well, I remember when they destroyed them, they were looking real fuzzy.
Yeah, they were. That was really weird. I wonder if they just burned fiberglass, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do.
And also, final thing, this episode and its writer, John T. Dugan, earned a Writers Guild of America Award nomination in the category of Best Written Dramatic Episode in 1968.
Well, sucks you didn't put your name on it, buddy?
I mean, I guess this was good for the time. I didn't find it particularly dramatic, but
yeah, for the time, I'm sure it was perfectly fine. There were some scenes. There was some intrigue.
But I guess we want to talk about our next one, Patterns of Force.
This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. If you know anything about Star Trek, you probably know about this. It's the Nazi planet.
We kind of been bouncing back and forth between bottle episode and big budget episode?
Yeah, this one definitely, like that last episode had very little. This one's got fucking places and people and costumes and everything.
1 sec, I gotta restart my browser because it's doing a memory leak.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah, 98% of my memory.
Yay! Is it Google Chrome?
It's Firefox.
Yeah. Shit, I should probably keep an eye on that then. Doesn't it suck that every browser sucks now? Remember when there was one or two good ones and now they're all bullshit? Except for Opera. Opera is the web browser of choice for fucking weird podcasters and VTubers.
All right. They didn't even pay me to say that. Much faster now that I've reset it.
Yeah, good.
Let's see who our guest stars are, because there's a few.
Yeah, quite a few guest stars in this episode.
All right. So this is mostly a Kirk Spock episode. I think they have 90% of the runtime on it.
Yeah, McCoy does show up.
McCoy shows up at the very end. We have a character named Isak, who I think is our scruffy resistance member.
Yeah,
in a leather jacket.
In the leather jacket.
And then we have Darius, who is the blonde spy femme fatale.
Okay, yeah.
Skip Homier has Melicon, the evilest Nazi.
The evilest Nazi, believe it or not.
Skip Homier is a great name, by the way.
It's a great name.
And then we have John Gill, the Führer.
Le Führer, yeah. Funny how much Nazi.
There's some other minor characters like Scotty's in there, Uhura's in there. We have a guy named Enig, who I think is the other turncoat Nazi.
Yeah, I think
And we have Abram, who is the older brother of Isak.
Yeah.
They all have kind of vaguely Jewy names because they're vaguely Jewy.
Yeah, there's a, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there's some parallels to reality in the Nazi planet.
Yeah, all of the other guests stars are just like SS Major, SS Lieutenant, Chekhov.
Check off. Yeah, we don't get the Russians' opinion on Nazi Germany. Weird.
Oh, uncredited co-star Adolf Hitler as Adolf Hitler. Uh,
Oh, I think we're back. Hopefully. Fucking cross every finger
there
we
you
got.
are.
We good?
Yeah, there you are.
Cool. I am going to put some effort into like actually editing this one this time. YouTube's got some sort of editing thing. I've never actually used
Mhm.
it because I don't know how good it is, but we're gonna find out so I can edit some of these drops and then I can go yell at Cox and or Spectrum again. I'm sure that'll be fruitful.
Yeah. I don't know if it caught me explaining our biggest guest star of the episode.
Yeah, no, let's just go ahead and run that one again.
Yeah, so I'm noticing in our uncredited guest co-stars section here we have, Benji Bancroft as a Kojian Brigade Fuhrer, and also Adolf Hitler as Adolf Hitler.
As himself.
Parentheses.
Wow. Reprising the role.
Parentheses archive footage.
So yeah, despite
Yeah,
this Go
they
ahead.
do have a bit somewhere in the episode where they're just showing archive footage of Nazis in case you didn't get this is Nazi Planet.
Just in case it was unclear. Yeah, it's actually really interesting how they portray that. It's kind of the most futuristic thing the show has ever done that's actually real. But yeah, it's interesting for how Nazi this episode is that they never actually say Hitler, I believe.
Yeah, they never directly call out Hitler, which I guess was maybe a step too far. I don't know.
Maybe at the time, who can say?
But it's what's interesting is that like they don't do anything to alter the Nazi uniforms. They're all just straight up like Earth Nazi uniforms because they have the words Adolf Hitler on their sleeve.
Yeah, which is
like written in cursive.
Which I'm very curious if that was like if they got him from like some sort of World War II movie or if there was a thing where you have to put that on there.
Well, this is 1968, so they probably just had a closet full of Nazi uniforms.
That's true.
On the Paramount lot.
Yeah, everybody's got Nazi uniforms. It's the hot movie topic of the 60s and 70s.
I'll say before getting into this episode, it's important to remember that like Nazi Germany is within living memory of the people making this show.
Literally a generation, yeah.
So I think a lot of it is aged poorly because, hindsight is 2020, but a lot of this is them grappling with like how could an entire generation of people have been swayed to do something as evil as what Nazi Germany did?
Yeah, like how, and not just like a generation of people, but like literally parents and grandparents and colleagues. Like these are all people that are more or less contemporaries.
So, yeah, that's an important thing to keep in mind as we make fun of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get into the quick synopsis of the episode, it's the Nazi planet episode, man.
Yeah, there's a planet of Nazis.
So I guess just like the Mob Planet episode, but less comedic. There was a Starfleet scientist who landed on this planet as an observer, and it turns out he did not just observe. He altered the course of this planet's history to his own whims. So apparently, unlike the other planet, these people were like a rudimentary spacefaring race because there's like 2 planets of people.
Yeah, it was super unclear to me if there were like if it was one other planet or 2 other planets.
I think there's 2 planets, the Ecosians and the Zeons. And the Ecosians were like, basically human-ish, like according to our like 20th century warlike-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And the Zeons were just an entirely peacekeeping people who hate killing.
Yeah.
They're the stand-in for Jews, which is, a little noble savage view of the Jews.
Yeah, especially in 2026.
But essentially, when they land on the planet, there's Nazis. They're just straight up Nazis. They're in Nazi uniforms,
Nazi flags, Nazi uniforms, the whole 9 yards.
And they are hunting down the Zeons, which
Zeon pigs.
Kirk and Spock, Zeon pigs, which Kirk and Spock are immediately accused of being.
Look, if you're not a Nazi, you're a pig. That's just how it goes in Nazi Planet.
We'll get into the specifics in our recap, but the whole thing ends up being the Führer, who is our sociologist, decided that he could do Nazis but good
I can
if they
fix
had a
Nazis.
benevolent leader,
Yeah.
because he just thought they were the most efficient form of society.
So efficient. The trains were always on time, as they always say.
But it turns out that he was drugged and manipulated by the most evil Nazi in his party, and they started to do a purge of the Zeons, who would apparently never fight back ever.
How crazy is it that you bring Nazism to a planet and there's a guy who's like, "Oh, I was always a Nazi." Okay. That's a cool sentence to have said on the internet. That was a great idea.
Well, you did say you were editing this one.
Oh, yeah. Just, oh, fuck. Anyway.
Clip it.
Yeah, fucking please don't clip that. I see all fucking 4 of you. Do not clip that.
But anyway, the episode ends with our idiot historian dying, and everyone just deciding we're not going to be Nazis anymore.
With his final breath, he curses Zoidberg, and the Nazis are like, "Oh fuck, Nazis are bad." Except for the one real Nazi.
The main point is that we get to see Captain Kirk in a Nazi uniform.
Boy, do we. And so many half-assed Nazi salutes.
But yeah, I mean, like, dramatically, it's a good episode, but like on its premise, it's pretty weak. It's just an excuse to have Nazis in Star Trek.
It's an excuse to have Nazis in Star Trek and be very, very loud about how Nazis are bad, but like, maybe there are some good parts of Nazis, which, yeah, again, like you were saying, it's really important to keep in mind the time in which this was happening, but also, like, we don't live in that time, and it's just kind of fucking absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we can get more into the deets now.
Yeah, so yet again, I don't remember if we get into why the Enterprise was in this system. Maybe it was to check up on John Gill. They do reference him by name, so I think they know that he's supposed to be here or in the area.
It's another situation where one of Kirk's mentors turns out to be a fucking asshole.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. Kirk's mentor is a Nazi. Yeah, I forget. They do a quick rundown of the planet. There's Zeon and there's the Ecosians, and one of them is mildly spacefaring and the other one isn't. And then I think they see like a ship, a shuttlecraft coming from the planet that shouldn't be spacefaring.
Yeah, they've launched like a drone at them with a nuclear warhead on it.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, what's going on? What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, I think it's full of nukes." And we do get Chekhov in this episode. His job is to shoot down the nuke. He fucking misses. Don't know how that happens. The nuclear vessel. Come on, man. But because this is a fucking starship, nukes don't actually do anything.
Yeah, they just kind of go, "Oh, that was cute.
Oh, that was a nuke. Huh, that's funny. They shouldn't have those."
But yeah, Kirk is immediately like, "Okay, they shouldn't have those. I guess maybe our friend might have helped them a little too much."
Yeah, we
zoom in on the photo of John Gill on the screen.
Make sure you remember this face. It'll be on the test later. And they have a great idea after this that I bet they're never going to use again, which is like, "Hey, we're going into hostile territory. Let's put some radios under our skin in case we lose our fucking tricorders, because we always lose our fucking tricorders. And that way you guys can teleport us if we don't radio in."
They do inject transponders into their arms, which they don't end up using as transponders.
Yeah, funnily enough, they're not used for that purpose. They're used for a dumber purpose.
Which is like, all right, at this point, just like be like fucking Rick from Rick and Morty and just put a gun in your arm or something. I don't know.
Have you watched Modern Trek? They might do that. So yeah, they I I guess they know enough to know about what era they're teleporting down into, so they dress up Kirk and Spock in like era appropriate clothing, but they didn't look too specifically. So yeah, they dress them up in clothing. They intend to blend in and find out what's going on. They get the transponders under the skin in case they lose their shit. Spoilers, they lose their shit.
So Nimoy was obviously in a costume with like the shitty like sweater and beanie, but I'm pretty sure that was just Shatner's regular clothes.
Oh yeah, those pants fit him really well, whereas Spock's like his fucking cardigan was like way bigger than it should have been. And he's got to wear a hat because he's got to hide them Vulcan ears. Because God forbid you make the infiltration mission slightly easier by sending in somebody who's fucking human, but whatever.
There's episodes of TNG where Riker goes undercover and they give him like prosthetic surgery to look like the alien of the planet.
And I'm sure they have the alien of the planet on staff.
So it's like, I guess they can do that in the future, but not now.
Yeah, this is
that, or Spock is like, nobody touches the ears.
This is early Federation. Is there a Star Trek show that takes place chronologically before this Star Trek?
Several.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's Enterprise, which is like around the Zefram Cochrane era.
Okay.
And then there's one of the movies is literally about Zefram Cochrane, but that's the TNG cast going back in time to that.
Yeah, I meant more just like the whole premise of the show is this is pre-Star Trek TOS.
One of the new Trek shows, Strange New Worlds, is about Captain Pike and his time on the Enterprise.
Oh, I didn't know it was about Captain Pike. Okay.
Yeah, he's the main character, the captain.
Yeah, I'd heard the
and then
name,
Star Trek.
I didn't know anything about Strange New Worlds.
I think Discovery is also around that era, before that era, maybe.
Oh, interesting. They did so many.
The main character, what's her name? Michael Burnham is like Spock's fucking foster sister because they needed to insert Spock in there somewhere.
There needs to be a Spock connection somewhere, damn it.
Yeah. Like, it's a really dumb, like, Mary Sue move to do, but that's what they did.
But they're running out of fucking familial connections.
Spock's secret sister that he's never spoken of.
Spock's secret apprentice sister that he's never spoken of.
By the way, they have several characters related to Spock that they have never spoken of and mentioned once and then never again.
Oh, great.
Like, he has a brother in one of the movies.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh. And here I thought fucking Uncharted 4 was being original.
Yeah, there's a few shows that take place before this.
That's interesting. And I'm sure there's some...
Most of them are new Trek because they're afraid of doing anything further in the timeline. It's always prequels.
Yeah,
it's always Surf Dracula.
It's always Surf Dracula. God fucking forbid. It puts limitations on the writers, which is good. Yeah, if you're a fucking hack. Anyway, yeah, they teleport down to Nazi planet. It looks like a regular planet. But surprise, there's Nazis and they're assaulting people.
Yeah, I think we get our first view of Isaac, and his first move is to tell Kirk and Spock to hide.
Yeah, which is really funny. Like, I guess it's very obvious they're not Nazis because all the Nazis are dressed in Nazi uniforms, but like,
yep.
How do you
we
know
don't see any
Nazis,
civilians either, yeah.
Yeah, we literally don't see anyone except people in Nazi uniform or fucking Xeon anti-Nazis.
Like, everyone on the street is in a uniform.
Yeah, they want to make it very clear this is 100% Nazi.
I think the closest we even see to a civilian is what's her name, the blonde lady, and she's basically just a Girl Scout for Nazis.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, she's some kind of celebrity or something.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still in uniform.
Yeah, she's still in uniform the whole time.
So we don't know what the average Ecosian is like. We just know what the soldiers
Yeah.
are like.
Boy, they're all soldiers, who can say?
And maybe they're all soldiers. That's probably what the Nazi party would have liked.
Yeah, oh, I bet they would have loved that.
Everyone's a soldier for the fatherland.
Everyone's a soldier for the fatherland. So yeah, they do hide, so they get to see some Nazis beating up on some Xeon pigs, as they call them.
Yeah, I think they just let him take that guy too.
They don't. They're still trying to not interfere. Unlike somebody who already fucked up. But yeah, that they don't try to hide the Nazis. This ain't Peacemaker season 2 spoilers. They just almost immediately make it clear.
Yeah, they zoom in on that armband real quick.
Yeah, they make sure you know. So they immediately recognize it because despite that happening like literally hundreds of years ago, it's a well-known thing in Starfleet history. And then almost immediately there is they didn't know it at the time, but they had constructed a flat screen television and put it outside. It's so interesting to see because we had the original effects on, and it was just like this metal frame with a fake screen on it because they couldn't put a real screen because filming a real screen looks like shit in the 60s.
Yeah, it was like a picture-in-picture effect.
Yeah. And it's just playing fucking Nazi archival footage, just straight up, which we don't get into how that got there, but it did.
I gotta assume that John Gill sat down all of his like friends and were like, "Guys, check this out.
Check this shit out.
Look at this.
I got a great idea." And maybe forgot to go over the "but we're not going to be evil" part. Yeah. So
I guess Melicon was like, "So we're putting skulls on our hats because we're the baddies. We're doing bad things because we're the baddies.
We're the baddies, right?
We are the baddies, right?
We get
to be the baddies.
Are we the baddies?" So yeah, they just play some straight up Nazi archival footage in case it was still unclear. And then I think at the very end they talk about like, and our glorious Fuhrer, and it's just a big old picture of John Gill.
Yeah, Kirk is like, "What?
Bruh, not my hero."
I think they end up stealing some SS uniforms and are immediately caught.
Yeah, I think like they get they beat up an SS guy. I think Spock dresses up as it. Yeah, because it's just like a regular Nazi officer. They beat him up. I think Spock does a nerve pinch. They steal the uniform, and then Spock's pretending to like take Kirk in as a prisoner, and then they find an SS officer and
a Gestapo officer, yeah, with a much nicer and cooler and sexier uniform.
Much nicer, cooler, sexier uniform. And Kirk is like, "Well, obviously that one's mine because I'm higher ranking."
And it's very convenient that these soldiers happen to be the same, suit size as these.
Thank God.
Two men.
And I believe Spock makes a comment about how Kirk will make a convincing Nazi.
Yeah, that's our one joke of the episode.
Yeah, we get one joke in the Nazi planet. So yeah, they're just they're trying to find John Gill and figure out what the fuck happened here, because non-interference has clearly been abandoned by all parties.
Yeah, so I think they try to get into the Führer's headquarters and are just immediately caught.
Yeah, they're just fucking immediately caught.
They fail to give or Spock fails to Sig Heil at a corporal or something.
Yeah,
a higher ranking guy.
Yeah, a higher ranking guy, and then Kirk tries to bail him out, but it's not enough. So eventually, at gunpoint, they tell Spock to take off his helmet. And again, if you had just brought a fucking human, this wouldn't have happened. But whatever. So yeah, I think they immediately, I think, also realize that Kirk isn't one of them either.
Yeah. They do a very funny thing where the officer's like, "My grandma, what pale skin you have."
Yeah. Oh yeah, he needs to talk to a doctor. We'll get right on that.
Hi, Grandma, what pointed ears you
What
have.
big ears you have.
All the better to hear Xenon pigs with.
um, and then, yeah, after that, I think we smash cut to Kirk and Spock shirtless, bound, literally being whipped in a basement.
Yeah, I guess it's another case of like just putting lipstick on them to simulate wounds because 1960s television sets were not able to see that
I do
as clearly as our Blu-rays.
Oh man, it's I do have DVDs. I kind of want to pop in the DVDs on my CRT. And even though it's still better than a fucking 60s TV, I'm curious how that looked. Cause yeah, on a giant high definition TV, like they didn't even try to fucking like make it look like it's a whip wound, or they literally just took some red marker and made some streaks. Like, okay, we're fucking done. We're not putting any effort into this. Nobody's got to see it.
They did give Spock green streaks.
They did give Spock green streaks. His were like he had way less of them.
And he's got thicker skin because he's a Vulcan, and he's just so cool.
He's just so cool and strong. Also, he
was
chest.
Yeah, I think Nimoy just didn't want to shave like Shatner does.
Yeah, I understand that. Nimoy's shirtless way less of the time.
Doesn't wear deep V's like Shatner.
Yeah, but yeah, much less hairy, or much more hairy than I expected Spock to be. But to each their own, Nurse Chapel. So yeah.
Also, it's notable that while they're being whipped, Spock is reacting much less than Kirk.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I mean, obviously they're whipping them with like a piece of cloth, but
yeah, they're not actually whipping them, but yeah, that would play into the I'm a strong Vulcan and you're a weak human bitch.
Yeah, like Kirk's not exactly like crying like a baby, but you know, one's much more Kunta Kinte than the other.
Yeah, and that's probably why they pretty much exclusively question Kirk.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're asking him like, "Are you Zeons and what are you doing here?" And the usual questions. And Kirk, of course, does it. Kirk very adamantly wants to see the Fuhrer, and they're just like, "Fucking no."
I think that's when the big, like the chairman comes in, Enig.
Yeah.
Who's like, all right, guys, stop whipping them. They're not going to give up anything.
Yeah. I did like the line where the guy's like, nah, give me a few minutes with him. I'll get him to talk. And he's like, you had a few minutes and they're already not talking. It's like, you've literally been whipping them and they're not going to talk. The fuck else are you going to do, dude?
It says here his final line on that is like, yeah, if you whip them for too long, they become insensitive, meaning they die.
Turns out you can't whip people forever. This is fucking Nazi scientists at their best right there.
Why don't we try starving them a little?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think after that they lock him in the jail that they're in the basement of, right next to the guy that they saw being captured at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, Mr. Leatherjacket Isaac.
Yes.
I think he exposits to them their like the backstory of the planet.
Yeah, like how everything was kind of cool, but then one day they turned into Nazis and started hating us, and we're just cool, peaceful guys. We don't know why they're like this.
I think he was like, yeah, we Zeons thought we were like we thought we were civilizing their planet.
Yeah, we thought we were.
And then they all just turned on us.
Yeah.
In the last few years.
The last few years. It's so weird. We were just trying to help them, and they turned into Nazis.
Which is, I don't want to get into the politics of that.
Yeah, no, we're not touching that, especially not in this day and age. But yeah, it was a stark turn that nobody's 100% sure of what the cause is, even though it's, you could attribute it to a few things. I believe Kirk and Spock have a conversation about like, well, we can't communicate, but at least we got our transponders. So eventually they'll teleport us, right? And for whatever reason, they decide they can't wait. So they need to figure out another way out.
Yeah, I don't know why the ship decided not to like follow them around because apparently it wasn't in orbit or the right orbit to
Yeah,
pick
like
them up immediately.
I guess I guess it was the usual thing of let's get out of orbit so they don't launch nukes on us, but we've already established that nukes don't matter to you, so who fucking cares? I'm sure there's some non-interference bullshit. But yeah, it's super weird that they
Yeah,
weren't like monitoring them the whole time.
I feel like it's one of those things where people lose a few IQ points, otherwise the episode doesn't happen.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be way too easy to solve this problem. Um so
But yeah,
yeah,
they dig the transponders out of their arms to make a laser.
obviously the way to solve this problem is to dig the transponders out of your arm and make a laser. Um they do a bunch of techno babble and realize that there's a special crystal in the transponders. They're digging out their arms. Other prisoner guys like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Um Shirtless Spock climbs on top of shirtless Kirk, and thousands of fan fictions were written in that very moment.
So I was wondering why he was acting like it was super painful, and then I remembered, oh yeah, because he was being whipped on his back. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's still tender from all the whip wounds.
Like, I don't know. Why is Kirk grunting so much about Spock just climbing on him?
Yeah, it's like
But if you've been whipped, I guess that would hurt a lot more.
that would hurt a lot more. So yeah, Spock needs to get some crystals and align them and hold them next to a light bulb, and that makes a laser, which he also manages to aim and shoot off the lock of the prison. Um,
I mean, this is a guy who built a supercomputer out of components during
out of radio.
what pre-World War II
Yeah,
Depression era,
I guess that's true.
New York. The Tony Stark of his generation.
Yeah, it's I guess it wouldn't make sense to take the two transponders and turn him into a transponder. Oh wait, they literally do that in the next scene. Um, but yeah, so they prison break. They at first they're gonna leave the Xeon guy, but he's like, "Nah, you'll never get to the storage room without me." And they're like, "All right, I guess we should free this fucking political prisoner and let him help us." Really had to twist their fucking arm about it. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, we were kind of both surprised that they didn't feel morally obligated to help this guy, but
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, why would you leave a prisoner to, be subjected to Nazi torture? They're
yeah,
Nazis.
you know
They're
what they're
not
gonna do
in the right here.
Yeah,
Oh, but non-interference, they're Nazis.
yeah.
You can interfere with Nazis.
I think right after that right before that they do the old Kirk screams to get the guard, and then Spock hides behind and nerve pitches
Yeah.
him.
They find another uniform.
Yeah, they steal so many uniforms in this episode, and it works every fucking time.
Yeah, then Kirk leads a shirtless Spock and Izak to the what is it, the radio room?
Yeah, like upstairs to the radio room.
Or whatever lab they were using to like dissect their phasers and
yeah,
communicators.
the guy says that there's a science room where they do experiments on people, and that's probably where your stuff is. So they go upstairs.
It didn't
to
look like a medical experimentation room. That just looked like, you said it was a storeroom for Miri.
Yeah, it looked exactly like the storeroom from Miri where they were working on fucking radios and shit.
And it probably was.
It probably very much was. Kirk does do a pretty good thing where they see the guy locking the storeroom. So Kirk is pretending to escort the prisoners. And then he pretends to bump into the guy who locked the room, and then very stealthily, almost like he didn't actually do it, but pickpocket him and steal the key.
Mm-hmm. Which he immediately realizes happens. Well, not immediately, like a minute later.
Yeah, but also, why didn't you just fucking nerve pinch him like you did the other guy? Who cares? Whatever. So yeah, he pickpockets the key. The guy leaves. They open up the storage room. They manage to get their tricorders back, but their phasers are gone because the phasers are always fucking gone.
I don't think they ever addressed where the phasers ended up either.
I think they say like, oh yeah, there's like some different Nazi fucking science building that those are probably in. We're not going to see those again.
Well, you better go collect those, just like you did with that fucking mobster communicator.
Yeah, seriously, you don't want them to be fucking Nazis with space guns. I'm sure there's a literal thing called Nazis with space guns. We'll look that up later. But yeah, then I think the key guy realizes the key is stolen, goes back in there, and then gets nerve pinched, and then they steal his uniform for Spock.
Was it the same uniform? Or no, I think the first uniform Kirk had was black, and then they put him in a gray one.
Yeah, they put him in a regular lower level gray
But
one.
I think the Spock like Wehrmacht uniform was the same throughout.
Yeah. I forget exactly what happens after this, but I know they end up going into the sewers. Because Xeon guy's like, yeah, I know some resistance fighters. We can go meet up with them.
Oh, they sneak him out on a stretcher, being like, "Yeah, we gotta go dump this body."
Oh yeah, we got so many dead Xeons that we got to dump them in the streets. That's right.
That was pretty amusing, but
they
they end up in the sewers with the resistance cell.
Yeah. They're obviously very concerned that a couple of Nazis are down there, but the other guy's like, nah, it's cool. They're with me. They broke me out of jail.
And his much, much older brother in a ascot tells him his wife died.
Yeah, that was... I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was, being like, fucking, hey man, are you sure you should be helping dudes who dress like Nazis? Your wife is dead. I'm not sure what Blondie was getting at with that.
Yeah, I think he was just being distrustful of strangers.
Yeah.
Because like a few minutes later, they do another switcheroo on him.
Yeah. So after that, they're like, okay, we need to figure out what to do with these guys. And then they go through a whole spiel where it's like, oh no, the Nazis are here. They found us and we got to leave. And I forget exactly what happens, but they're basically testing Kirk and Spock. Like, would you sell us out to Nazis? And they don't.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So they made a big deal of a blonde lady receiving an award during the like flat screen segment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then we see her down here accosting them with guys in uniforms. Mm-hmm. So we immediately go, oh, she's a Nazi and they've been caught.
Yeah.
But it turns out she's a double agent.
Yeah, it turns out she's working with them, and they were just testing them one time to make sure they really weren't Nazis, because you can never be sure.
She's a good Ecosian.
She's
like a good Samaritan, if you can believe it.
Just saying, he was a good Samaritan. So yeah, they realize that Kirk and Spock are on the level, and they are in fact here to fight Nazis.
And yeah, they like take her hostage, and then the guys are all like, whoa, okay, calm down. We were just testing you.
We were just testing you to make sure you wouldn't sell us out like immediately.
I think she reveals that her dad made her turn her in so that she would have an in with the Nazi party.
Yeah, she was like, I was actually like a double triple agent and had to sell out my dad so that I could become a high ranking Nazi. Stop me if you've heard that one before. But yeah, she's
they kind of pull out every Nazi movie trope in this one.
They really do, which is kind of funny because all of them stole from this.
We were making a lot of Inglourious Bastards references throughout this.
The last hour and a half of Inglourious Bastards is just this episode, folks.
Kinda, yeah.
But yeah, so she's like a big movie star and everything, and they're like, okay, maybe we can use this to our advantage to get to Gil, because I gotta talk to him. I gotta see what the fuck is up. Why would he do this?
Kirk's like, if I can only talk to Gil, I can just solve all of this.
I can fix Nazis if I could just talk to Gil. But yeah, they come up with a plan. The Fuhrer's gonna give a big speech tonight, so there's gonna be a party in a tiny room where you can see him on a screen. So they get more Nazi uniforms because there's no fucking shortage of Nazi uniforms.
Yeah, apparently there's like some weird Wizard of Oz shit going on with John Gill's broadcasts.
Yeah, they got him behind the screen. He's totally real, promise. But yeah, they show up to, I'm pretty sure, the same building that they already got caught in practically the same outfits. but they're pretending to be a camera crew now for Lady Goldstar.
Well, this time they have like cameras and lights that they can shove into people's faces, so they don't.
It's more convincing, and they're able to temporarily blind people so they don't recognize that it's the same guys in the same fucking outfits again in the same day.
Yeah, and they're just able to fast talk their way through the door.
Yeah, but they've also got a high-ranking lady that people recognize, and they're like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, they're all looking at her and not at them. So
yeah, exactly. So
works a little better.
They managed to sneak in. Guy from the jail is also there now. He's got a camera in a Nazi uniform.
Yeah, apparently Nazi uniforms are just really easy to source.
It's super. They just all over the place, man. So yeah, they get inside. They see. Oh yeah, the Fuhrer is in another room that's guarded by two guys, and it's behind a curtain. But he's totally in there and definitely not drugged. So I think they surreptitiously go over to the door to the broadcasting booth, which has a window for no other reason, so they could look in and be like, yeah, maybe he's drugged. We need a doctor.
Yeah, I think Spock just says, yeah, he wasn't moving at all during any of that.
Yeah, he does like a little broadcast, and then he's going to have like a bigger one later or something, and they're like, yeah, no, something's not right here.
In many ways, the Mitch McConnell of his era.
Mitch McConnell of Nazi Planet. There's the fucking podcast title.
I think that one would get you taken down.
Oh, 100%, but it'd be so worth it. So yeah, they decide that they need a doctor. So what do? Let's get McCoy in on the Nazi action. So they find a fucking closet.
The cloakroom, yeah.
The cloakroom, and they're talking to Uhura like, I need McCoy and I need a Nazi outfit right now. Uhura,
we need him to be a Nazi colonel doctor.
Yeah. Uhura doesn't even flinch. She's like, okay, yeah, whatever you say, Captain.
I joked it would have been funnier if she went, again?
Yeah, we got that one on speed dial, but why?
We also joked that McCoy maybe just had a bunch of uniforms in his closet.
It's just ready to go.
Confederate doctor, Nazi doctor, Klan doctor.
So again, in way you could have solved this way easier. They're able to teleport McCoy into the cloakroom, but they couldn't teleport Gil out of the broadcast room. Whatever.
No.
So yeah, they teleport McCoy into the cloakroom. He's having trouble with his boots for some fucking reason. And fucking
it's funny.
Spock has to literally tell him how to put on his shoes like he's a child.
Spock gives him advice and McCoy doesn't do that specifically.
He doesn't do it and it works.
Spock's like, yeah, squeeze the front toe so that your feet have more space. And McCoy's just like, fuck it, I'm shoving it in.
Whatever, I'm just going to jam my foot in there. And then Mr. Second in Command, Big Nazi, shows up and is like, what the fuck are you guys doing in the cloakroom? And it's like, oh, the doctor was just drunk. And he's like, yeah, Nazi doctors do that. Okay. Yeah.
This is the same guy that was like, all right, stop whipping these guys. So they know that this guy should recognize them immediately. Yeah, but he chooses to look the other way.
Yeah.
So they have an inkling that he might be, on their side.
Yeah. So I think then this is where Gil gives his big speech about like, yeah, we gotta go exterminate the Zeons and we're starting our final solution and we've already gonna go burn their shit down. And McCoy gets a look at it and he's like, oh yeah, he's definitely drugged.
Yeah, like during the speech, they have his mouth behind the microphone so you can't see it moving.
Yeah, like it barely looks like
because
his
it's
face.
Not moving.
Yeah, because it's not. Spoilers. So yeah, they figure out he's drugged. They go back to the door with the guys. I forget. Did they just break in?
I think they try to swarm them for like photo op with the lady.
Yeah.
And then Spock gets behind them.
Yeah, Spock gets behind him and then just fucking nerve pinches them.
Also, I think we get our first view of Melicon here, the true Nazi.
Yeah, the
He
real.
starts making a speech after the Fuhrer's speech, being like, "All right, guys, you heard the man."
Yeah, so the Fuhrer's speech is kind of vague, and he gets into more detail. Like, yeah, we're gonna start hitting them hard and fast, and we already really started. Um, so yeah, it you kind of get a sense that maybe he's the one who's really in control.
Yeah,
They
using Gil as a figurehead. Yeah,
Yeah. They managed to infiltrate the control booth, the broadcast booth. They see that Gil is there. He is very drugged. He's barely conscious, not really even conscious. Um, McCoy, for once in his fucking life, is reluctant to give a man drugs. And is
he's like, "I don't dare."
yeah, it's like I could give him some uppers, but I don't dare give him any more than this. And fucking Kirk is like, no, we need to wake him up. We need to talk to him and stop this. Um, I forget what happens to make McCoy leave the room. I think like they go out to try and distract Melicon.
Yeah, I think they're. Kirk tells him to go out and make a distraction or
Yeah.
something.
They tell him to go distract Melicon in the main audience room, and Kirk is like, well, now the doctor's not here, I'm gonna give this guy some more uppers. I think they were able to ask him a couple of questions. Yeah, McCoy is like, he can't initiate conversation, but he can respond. Yeah, like he's a fucking speak with dead.
Oh, another thing that happens in between here at some point, like I think one of the people is like, "Hey, you guys have like all this technology. Can't you just stop their ship from killing all the Zeons?" And they're like, "Yeah, but there's like a bunch of our people hidden amongst the like Zeon, the Ecosian soldiers."
Yeah, and it'd be just as bad to kill 100,000 of your soldiers as it would to let them exterminate millions of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, real fucking wishy-washy on that one.
And yeah, a big premise of this episode is that the majority of people under the Nazi rule are innocent bystanders who are just misled by an evil man.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's really true.
It's
But
super, like, they're not evil. They just do what they're told, no matter what they're told. And they'll change on a dime, which isn't evil. It's just stupid.
which, again, if you're within living memory of these people and these people are some of your neighbors, then yeah, I guess that's how you have to think in order to not want to
In order to not
kill them all.
fucking murder all your neighbors. Just a reminder, kids, it is always acceptable to kill Nazis. But anyway,
Nobody's born a Nazi. They
nope,
choose.
They choose to be a Nazi. Anyway, Kirk gives Gilmore drugs, and finally he awakens from his comatose slumber. And this is unfortunately where we get into Kirk asking him, "What the fuck, man? Why did you do Nazis again?" And Gil is like, "Well, I thought I could do Nazis, but good. I thought if not Hitler was in charge of the Nazis, that it'd be okay. They were so
just
efficient.
The most efficient way, because I guess they mentioned up to this point that like the Ecosians have been totally like anarchist, and there was no
they
like structure to their society.
They had no structure, which is why they were so slow to develop compared to the other nearby planets.
Yeah.
And Mr. fucking like super, like even Spock is impressed by the historical work this guy has done. And his response is like, well, what if I just give him a little Nazi push?
So,
and yeah, they glaze Nazis a little too much. Oh, they were so efficient, and it's the best way to do things, if not for all the evil stuff. So I figured I could
Spock
do
was
that.
like, hey, they slid. Hitler dragged them out of a depression into becoming one of the most formidable forces of the world.
They went
and it's like
from zero to hero, those Nazi Germans.
I'm pretty sure historically what they did was they just went so deep into debt and focused all of their efforts on conquering everyone around them.
Yeah, no,
trusting that they just wouldn't have to pay back their debts.
Yeah, you just take from everybody around you. Suddenly you've got a bunch of shit. Funny how that works out. I guess I did do
just print money.
Yeah, just fucking print money, dipshit. But yeah, he tells him that he tried to do Nazis but good, but then it turns out that Melicon was just super cool with the bad part of Nazis, and then drugged him and used him as a figurehead, and he's actually the one in charge of all this bad Nazi shit. I wanted to do good Nazi shit, and Melicon wanted to do bad Nazi shit, so really it's his fault.
Oh, now I remember why they all had to leave the room. What's his name? Enig walks in on them in the broadcast room, and they all pretend that they caught Spock as a spy
That's right.
who was assassinating him.
Yeah, they
and they're like, well, they got to take him to Melicon directly.
Melicon should decide what to do. Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, why don't you phrenology this guy for us so we can waste some time.
Yeah, and then Kirk tries to get Gil to make a broadcast to rescind the order for the final solution.
I think this is the part where they were talking about why don't you just blow up the ship? And it's like, oh, killing is bad and wrong, so we don't want to do that, even if it would save millions of lives. But yeah, eventually he.
Again, the Enterprise could just intercept every nuke that they launch.
Yeah, and from space they could just stun the whole Nazi building and fix it, but whatever.
Yeah. Again, everybody has to lose a few IQ points in order for the episode to happen.
Yeah. So eventually, Gil turns back on the fucking video monitors and cameras and is like, hey guys, I know I just said let's go do a genocide, but actually I was wrong and we shouldn't do a genocide, and I never wanted that, and Melicon's the bad guy, and I'm not the bad guy, and everything I said before that was bad was not what I wanted. Thank you, good night.
Yeah, I think Melicon grabs a machine gun and like does Inglorious Bastards on the Fuhrer.
Yeah, he just fucking fires into the booth, which I think is something that one of the guys like suggested way early on, and Kirk is like, no, I need to talk to him.
Yeah, it was the Xeon guy.
Yeah, he's like, why don't I just kill Hitler? Man. And Kirk's like, no, he's not Hitler, I promise.
Which is funny because apparently his whole deal is like, yeah, the Zeons aren't even going to fight back if the Kojans attack them. Apparently he's willing to fight back.
Yeah. They're such a peaceful race, except for the ones that aren't.
Yeah. Also, was Kirk in the booth with them? We didn't have to see him like have to duck and to dodge that fire at all.
I think he did. Like, I don't know how Kirk didn't get shot, but yeah, he was fine. Maybe he did leave so that he could have the booth to make the broadcast, because otherwise it'd be weird if there was some other guy there.
There's a guy holding his shoulder, whispering in his ear.
Telling him that Nazis are bad. But yeah, after that, literally the entire room full of Nazis is like, oh yeah, Nazis are bad. We shouldn't be Nazis anymore. And they just all decide not to be Nazis. Except for Melicon. He was super.
Oh yeah. Izak shoots Melicon like one to the chest.
Yeah, after he shoots up Gil, he fucking just puts a bullet in him, and we get an amazing shot. He makes a real good
ooh face. Ooh,
yeah. Like he's being punched, but is with a fucking Ruger.
A real bullets. My one weakness.
My one weakness was bonitis. So yeah, then they kill the real Nazi, and everyone's like, okay, well, let's listen to the Fuhrer and not be Nazis anymore. And then they just decide, okay, stop the invasion. Let's have some peace talks. No more Nazis.
And yeah, we're not led. We don't know any future information on that. Kirk is like, yeah, let's get out of here. I'm like, no, you need to stick around, bud.
Kirk is like, let us get the fuck out of here. I don't want to deal with this any more than I have to. I think there's a thing about absolute power, corrupts absolutely, and that's it.
So we know that from that Deep Space Nine episode, there's like time police that the Federation are in charge of.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no like prime directive police who go around fixing like the times we contaminate other cultures?
I'm sure somebody might say that's what the fucking Enterprise is for. Yeah, it's like clearly if you've got time police, you can fucking see all of this shit.
Like, it feels like if the Prime Directive is that important to your society, that maybe you should have like an established organization to make sure A, that it doesn't happen, and B, when it does happen, we have ways to resolve it.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like we need another series of Star Trek. Star Trek Prime
People would hate that.
Directive.
People would hate that series. That would be so fucking
I
boring.
know, but that's what makes it so Trek.
No, they want drama. They want Spock's long lost sister crying.
They do, and they want ships blowing up and shooting things and cool space fights and long, drawn out ship montages.
They don't want robot hive minds. They want a Borg queen. They want all of the Borg to die at the same time when the queen dies.
Here's the thing, I kind of want a Borg queen. I'm sorry.
You just want it for a magic card.
I want it for a lot of things.
Anyway, like I was saying, it's an entertaining episode, but its premise is so flawed it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, it's really really wishy-washy, which what should be pretty cut and dry, but again, the fucking it was a lot more contemporary back then than it is now. It's a lot easier now to just hand wave and say fucking all Nazis are bad, because all Nazis are bad, but I don't know any Nazis.
Yeah. Like back then, they still had a Germany that had a lot of former Nazis in it, or a lot of people who, just went along with it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to find a way to forgive them for that. Otherwise, what are you going to do?
Otherwise, you end up with a lot of dead Nazis.
Yeah. But it really tries to cast all of the blame on one guy when, no, I think it was all of society that allowed that to happen.
It was kind of a societal breakdown. Sure, there was a catalyst, but fucking Hitler didn't kill all those Jews himself. He had help.
Like, there's a lot of temptation for good things and bad things, attribute everything to one source.
Yeah, it was just it's kind of like the auteur mentality, but obviously fucking way more horrific, but you get the premise.
Yeah. But Hitler's not the only guy who engineered the final solution. He had a lot of people who were equally fucked up in his circle.
Hitler was not the only Nazi. There were a lot. Not all of them were indoctrinated as children either. Most of them were adults that heard it and it sounds great.
Yeah. I don't think Hitler even introduced the anti-Semitic elements of society. He was just riding that wave because it was a convenient scapegoat that he already knew everyone hated.
Yeah, there were some people who are already on this, so I'll just ride that too.
And, we even see it today where, trans people are scapegoated as, the degenerates of our culture.
Yeah.
When it's just people riding on a popular wave of, insecurity.
Yeah, same thing. Even to get just more political parties, fucking right-wing conservatives. There's a lot of evil ones. There's a lot of them that are not as evil. They have similar ideas, but don't want to kill all the trans people.
And I guess they kind of get to that in Inglourious Bastards with what's his name, the main Nazi, Hans Landa. He didn't even personally hate Jews. He just knew it was, a convenient method to power for him.
Yeah, he just I just want to fucking be Führer, really.
He didn't care. He just, wanted to lead the best life he could.
Yeah.
And killing Jews was an easy way to get that.
Mm-hmm.
He was an opportunist, not a what is it, a phobic person?
Yeah, which doesn't absolve him of sin, but
no, in some ways that's even worse.
Yeah,
because you're making a conscious decision to be hateful.
Mm-hmm.
But all that to say, the episode is pretty flawed in its view of how Nazism came about.
Yeah, and for how starkly it decries Nazism, it doesn't actually do or say much. Yeah,
same with the Vietnam episode, kind of.
Yeah.
it decries the situation as bad, but it doesn't really know
It
what
doesn't
to do
offer
about
a
it.
solution or take a real stance.
It doesn't offer a final solution. But also, I can't hate it because it's fun to see Kirk in a Nazi
It
uniform,
is fun to see,
karate chopping dudes.
like, it's really funny because throughout the episode, all of the side characters are they're acting like Nazis. They're doing full blown Nazi salutes. All of the main characters that have to be on TV multiple times are doing very half-assed Nazi salutes. Very the least I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And like character wise, I understand, but also like if you're trying to fit in to be a Nazi, you got to do a Nazi salute, Kirk. But also, I don't want to be on television doing a Nazi salute.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to rewrite this episode, is there a better way to get a Nazi planet that would not have been so dumb?
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Other than leaving behind a book about Nazis.
yeah, that's the thing is like it would kind of just be leaving behind a book where it maybe it's radio signals or whatever, but it's less that it was brought up and more that the society adopted it and trying to focus more on the societal angle of it.
I mean, they've done things before where they're like, hey, this planet is 1-to-1 like Earth.
Yeah.
So they could have just landed on a planet of Nazis.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
just happened to fucking convergent evolution Nazis.
or they could have time traveled. That's also a thing they could have done.
Yeah.
But then they would have had to deal with real Hitler.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I know we keep bringing up, but I think is really important is like, I don't know if you want to do that in the 60s. Like that.
I mean, they had World War II movies, but I guess they never really, they very seldom directly address Hitler, I think.
Yeah, it's always like this happened, not this is what we should have done or this how we can fix it.
Except for Captain America. He gets to punch Hitler.
Fuck yeah. We need more movies punching Hitler.
Anyway, I just think it would have been better if they took a page out of Wolfenstein and had Kirk, I don't know, knifing a few Nazis.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he killed a few more Nazis at the very least. Just I at the very least it would have been better if Kirk had at least called him on his bullshit. Like, nah, man, the Nazis weren't efficient. They sucked. Like, nothing about this is better than anything else. That was a bad call. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
If the smallest change I could make, I think would be that.
I think one of his dying words was like, even historians fail to learn from history. And we were both like, no, that's just you.
That's literally just you. Don't blame all historians because you thought you could do Nazis right.
Yeah, maybe if they played Gil up as a villain more.
Yeah, like
it might have worked better.
More insane, more maniacal, more something. Yeah.
Because they play him up as being naive.
Yeah.
When, I don't know, maybe if you had gotten more into like how egotistical he was, thinking he could do this, playing God with other cultures.
Yeah, exactly. Blame it on the guy who's fucking trying to play God instead of, I was actually one of those guys.
Or just have him be a Nazi sympathizer, just straight up.
Yeah, fucking just have your hero be a Nazi.
Just have Kirk have to reckon with one of his, mentors.
Yeah, that's something that he really never does is reckon with, man, fucking that guy was a Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our core problem with the episode is that it says fascism is bad, but it never brings up why.
Yeah. Yeah, very surface level, very killing his badong.
Yeah. And that's not even getting into all the Zionism.
Yeah, the Zionism, yeah.
But anyway, I guess we can rank them, huh?
Yeah, let's rank them. Return to tomorrow.
Turn to tomorrow.
I've seen the word tomorrow in a lot of these fucking titles. Maybe it's just the two that I landed on, but stop it.
How do I feel about Return to Tomorrow? Honestly, nothing in the episode is like super exciting to me, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like it's funny how like much more like altruistic this is compared to the following episode. Other than the one guy.
Let's see, where would I put this? Maybe around the enemy within. Another Kirk isn't Kirk episode.
Yeah. Where? Okay, yeah, I was looking around there too.
And also, What Are Little Girls Made Of? Another robot body episode.
Robot body episode, yeah. Fucking okay, there we go. 3 fucking times, man. I fucking hate Cox. Anyway, Return to Tomorrow, somewhere around Enemy Within. Are we thinking between Enemy Within and What Are Little Girls Made Of? Below What Are Little Girls Made Of? Above Enemy Within?
Maybe below Little Girls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I think the premise on those two are better.
Yeah.
Or more interesting. That episode didn't really have a lot to say. It was mostly just drama, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it really didn't. Yeah. Because nobody had to be convinced of anything, really, is the thing. Everything just sort of happens.
Yeah.
Patterns of Force.
Uh-huh. See, what was the mob episode? Piece of the Action?
Piece of the Action, number 18, yeah.
I think that's the most comparable one.
Definitely.
We can judge it based on. But is it better or worse?
It's more fun.
I really enjoyed Piece of the Action more.
Piece of the Action
more fun.
Is way more like fun. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this one just felt like an excuse to bust the Nazi uniforms out of their fucking closet.
Yeah. Fucking let's reuse these Nazi uniforms we got.
And they just kind of had to write around that.
Yeah.
A lot of it felt kind of obligatory too. Like, we have these costumes, we want to use them.
Yeah. I feel like maybe even putting it below iMud.
I don't think iMud's that good, but if that's where you want to put it, that's fine.
How do we feel about it in comparison to Trouble with Tribbles?
Oh. I mean, this one at least had something to say. Tribbles didn't really.
Yeah. It had,
as fun as it is.
It had, what it had to say is that fucking Klingons are dicks. And fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right. Well, counting our two-parter, that is the first 50 episodes of Star Trek ranked so far.
Sure is.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
I guess we can look at what's coming up next.
Yeah, what is coming up next?
We have By Any Other Name, which is a another Shakespeare reference title.
That one I know.
Looking at the synopsis, it's another Aliens Hijack the Enterprise episode.
Oh boy.
And then the next one after that is, I believe, the Omega Glory.
Yes, the Omega
That one
Glory.
I do remember, and we both discussed that it is apparently one of the worst episodes ever made.
Yeah, whereas By Any Other Name, I think, was like in some people's top 15-ish.
The twist ending to this one is hilarious, though. I know that. So yes, we get to look forward to that.
Hell yeah. All right, so we've got that. I guess we did watch a third thing, actually.
Yes, we watched the Mortal Kombat movie, the
Mortal
second
Kombat
one.
2, not to be confused with Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a much worse movie.
Yeah, actually, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is just ass.
It's funny because I had never seen it before when we watched it like last year or whatever, and I'd thought about it and I
Mhm.
talked to like Mortal Kombat fans, and every single one of them is like, no, it's bad. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Mortal Kombat's not great. How bad could Annihilation be? Holy fuck, is Annihilation bad? Not even fun bad, just bad, bad.
Yeah, the first Mortal Kombat movie you can consider fun bad or just regular good.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilation is just like awful
Just
throughout.
bad. Low budget, bad everything. Sucks.
Like it's a porn parody without the porn.
I know, right? Speaking of which, Vinny did a stream of that, but Star Trek, and it's hilarious.
Captain, your crystals need charging.
Let me help you. But yeah, fucking Mortal Kombat 2. I don't want to say it's a better movie than its predecessor, Mortal Kombat, not to be confused with Mortal Kombat.
I feel like the first movie is a better as a narrative.
It's definitely, the first movie is definitely a better narrative. It's a better story.
Like as much as I don't care for Mr. Self-Insert, like at least he had a narrative arc that felt like it had stakes.
Yeah.
And
arguably better,
a connection.
Too.
Yeah. Like in this one, the only character who really has an arc is Johnny Cage, I guess.
Yeah, and
Katana, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Katana. She's technically the star of the show.
I wouldn't even call it a character arc. It's another like girl power realizing she's been held back by evil men thing.
Yeah, it's not like she didn't really make any choice except at the very end, and that was, more of a fuck you, you've been oppressing me, rather than like a moral choice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real character growth to her other than just like choosing to be badass at the last minute.
Yeah.
When she could have chosen to be badass at any time, I suppose.
You telling me you could have done that at any time?
Well, I guess they needed to destroy his immortality amulet, which he didn't have until halfway through the movie.
Yeah, he didn't need it until right there at the end. And they could only beat him if they destroyed it.
Honestly, she probably wouldn't have beat him if he didn't have that, because he was letting her hit him.
Yeah.
Like slit his throat.
Yeah.
Going like, haha, I can just shrug this off.
I can't die. This is basically cheating, but the rules are super vague.
Yeah, the rules of that fighting tournament were basically just pro wrestling.
Yeah, especially right at the end when she switches sides and the giant UI in the sky was like, yeah, I'll allow it.
Like, it was like, with her fight versus Johnny Cage, she let him live, even though it's a fight to the death.
Yeah.
But rules say he loses, so he loses. I don't know if that like disqualifies. I don't know. The rules are dumb.
The rules are super
dumb. The movie's dumb.
Yeah.
It's an excuse to get several action set pieces together.
It is. And it certainly goes more places than the previous Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it feels higher budget, but like they really cared less about the narrative arc of it.
And like that would be fine if the fight scenes were better. And I'd say everything before the Scorpion and versus Cybot fight, kind of not that great.
Yeah, the Sindel fight.
Yeah, that was kind of lame.
They did do a lot more game references, I think.
Yeah, it was way more game reference heavy.
I think I liked the Scorpion costume from the first one more.
100%, yeah. This one was
but
basically
also, I guess
they mask in a hoodie.
They wanted to utilize the famous actor that they got for Scorpion more in this one.
Yeah, we fucking paid for him. We might as well use him.
And honestly, Scorpion didn't need to be in this movie. It was just because Scorpion needs to be in a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, it's funny how fucking like he just shows up right at the end. He gets the cool fight because he's Scorpion.
Yeah, the noob Cybot fight was cool.
Yeah, I think that was the best fight by far, and everything else was kind of really underwhelming.
Um, I think the effects were okay. Sometimes some of the like kill shots were a little.
Yeah,
It looked like a Mortal Kombat kill shot,
some of them definitely look better than
for better or
others.
worse.
Yeah. Like it was
The guy
definitely
who did Shao Kahn did all right, I think. Actually,
yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a more gory movie, I feel, than the previous one, though it has been a minute since I've seen the previous Mortal Kombat.
I mean, they smashed a guy's head with a hammer.
They did smash a guy's head. They stabbed more people than you'd think with a hammer, but they did at least smash one guy's head.
Yeah, I guess the biggest problem is that the cast got too big.
Yeah,
There's
there
too
were
many characters.
too many people, and like I am very much in the most casual of Mortal Kombat fan. Like calling me a fan is a bit of a stretch, but like I know Mortal Kombat. So this movie was all of the characters I barely know or give a shit about. Like they blew their load character choice wise in the first movie and are like, oh fuck.
Also, it feels like they know which characters are the fan favorites and they don't know which ones to give the attention to.
Yeah.
Like they know they can't just like sideline Liu Kang, but also they don't want to write Liu Kang.
Okay,
They gave him one cool fight and then he fucks off.
Yeah, I will say the Kung Lao Liu Kang fight was pretty cool.
Yeah, but they act like you're supposed to care about Kung Lao when you know.
I'm sorry, I barely know who Kung Lao is. Honestly, if it weren't for the hat, I would have completely forgotten who Kung Lao is. Oh yeah, and then Liu Kang just literally flies out of the movie like a half hour before it ends.
Yeah, like
I have to go.
I guess
now.
they're sequel baiting,
yeah,
but
they're not getting a sequel.
They're really just like, anyway, we can't just kill Liu Kang unceremoniously, but also we can't have him in the movie anymore.
He can't win.
Too many characters.
Kill him.
So he kind of spends most of the movie doing ineffective fire attacks at Shao Kahn.
Yeah, really flashy, completely worthless.
I would get that guy to play a firebender in any Avatar thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. If we could,
he's good at the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rate that movie like a 7. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like, definitely don't start with it as your first Mortal Kombat movie, but if you liked the previous one, you'll have a fun time.
Yeah, it definitely expects you to have watched the first one, despite them constantly explaining what happened in the first one.
And killing off the main character of the first one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the character who got shafted most might have been Jax.
Oh, yeah. Jax really, like, barely in there and then just gets jobbed.
Wait, doesn't... He just straight up dies and is not in the credits, right? Or is not in the final scene where they're all like, let's go.
Yeah, he just straight... Yeah, because he gets stabbed through the throat. He's fucking dead.
Well, as we've seen in this movie, death means nothing because they just bring back Kano.
Oh, yeah, you can just...
And give him his eye back.
You can necromancer Kano and fucking Kung Lao and whoever. Nothing matters. That's true.
Yeah. And that's also true of the regular Mortal Kombat.
Hey, remember how they spent so much time bringing back Kano and then Kano did almost nothing?
He made a lot of jokes.
He sure did. He was the jokey one.
He was Australian.
Like, he killed a row of guys and, like, shot 2 lasers in the Scorpion fight, and that was kind of it.
Also, they bill it as, like, a Carl Urban movie, but he's kind of...
That
barely
was
there.
Like, the one thing I knew about the movie going into it is like Carl Urban's the main character. Johnny Cage is the main character. Not really. Kind of not really.
No, it's very clear from frame 1 it's a Katana movie.
Yeah, literally frame 1. Like, you're right that Johnny Cage gets the most character development, but it is not a Johnny Cage movie.
Also, I thought the costumes were pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I thought the Cybot looked great.
If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you won't feel disrespected by this movie. I'll say that.
It is definitely made for Mortal Kombat fans.
Some video game movies do not give a shit about the video game audience. they want the normies.
Looking at you, Golden
They want the
Axe.
normies who have vaguely positive feelings about the video game that they've heard of.
Looking at you, Golden Axe.
Oh, that Golden Axe thing. Are we going to have to watch that?
I am going to watch it. I won't force you to if you don't want to, because I gave Devil May Cry a shot, and like Devil May Cry was sincere and sucked. So,
Well, you watch one episode of that and we'll decide from there.
yeah, I watched like 4 episodes of DMC. I definitely gave it too much credit, but I will give Golden Axe a shot, but I'm not hopeful.
Everything I saw of that Devil May Cry anime was like, oh yeah, the people who made this only know about Devil May Cry 5.
They only know about Devil
and they
May
only know about it from the memes.
Yes. No, 100%. They literally like no concept of the series as a whole. Just fucking wacky woohoo pizza man.
They know memes and they know cosplay.
Yeah. And fucking Adi Shankar thinks he's fucking Virgil. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a series of like,
there's a poor decision.
A lot of things that
pushback.
From what I understand of the plot of that show, Virgil does many un-Virgil things.
Super un-Virgil things. Things that fucking anyone who's played any game, even 5, would know that he wouldn't do.
And it's not even like character assassination. It's just like, no, Virgil's like way more evil than that.
Yeah, like fucking just more evil and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lend somebody my fucking sword. Like, no. Virgil would fucking kill you before giving you anything.
Like, it seems like Adi Shankar was under the impression that Virgil is some kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog anti-hero.
Yes.
When he's just kind of he's a dickhead.
Yeah, like he's not a good guy at all.
He's
very much the Liquid
Snake.
Snake.
An asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like if you made a Metal Gear anime and decided Liquid Snake was secretly the hero all along and did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole and like a triple agent.
You can make that argument for Big Boss, maybe, but Big Boss is also kind of an asshole.
Well,
he's just a charismatic one that people love.
I do love when he eats the snake.
The kind of guy to trick another guy into being him for a while.
Thought you were going to say the kind of guy to trick another guy into being gay for an afternoon.
Yeah, into being him for a while.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Before the internet drops yet again, do we have any final words?
If somebody comes to your planet and says we should all be Nazis, say no.
Maybe kill that guy for good measure.
And if somebody wants to borrow your body to make a robot body, also say no.
Also say no, because that guy's going to do weird stuff with it. Yeah. Also, just don't put your body into a robot because it sucks. Fuck clankers.
I might not take that advice.
Okay, clanker. Good night, everybody.
Good night.